Edmonton Sports Talk. My God, I loved it.
My name's Jay Milne. #Blue.
Our sports update deliverer, the Coop.
I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up today. You know what, Reid? You might be on to something.
All right, here's what's going on in the nest.
Man, it's so hot out there. I heard some Canada geese talking, and they were like, I guess we got to keep flying north. Right? Is that how it would work? I guess. I don't know. I'm no birdologist. What do you call a birdologist? It's like, it starts with an O, doesn't it? I think something to do with an O.
Birdologist?
Ornithologist, something like that. What do you call someone who studies birds? You can let me know. Yeah, it's very hot out today. That'll be off related to the off-topic topic. And okay, Canada geese. Canadians are so nice. Yet Canadian geese, they're always walking around. Like if you go up to a Canada geese, like it's not going to be a Canada goose. It's not going to be a pleasant experience. Like they're always strutting around, hissing at people, like you know. Like I remember, I was lucky enough to golf at Banff Springs. About, I don't know, probably 20 years ago now, a buddy had a stag there, and we played the golf course. And there was this one par 3. There were Canada geese just on a third of the green.
They're goosing around.
And anybody was like, well, if you hit your ball into the geese, like, don't go pick it up because you'll get killed. They'll just attack you. And they're quite large birds. Ornithology, is that correct?
Ornithology, yes.
Ornithology is the study of birds.
Yeah, what a bunch of silly gooses.
We should get, that's a good point. We should get an ornithologist on the show at some point this summer. I mean, I've done Stranger Things as a talk show host.
I'm writing it down.
Trust me. Anyway, I hope you had a great Canada Day yesterday. The Oilers have signed Andrew Mangiapane. We'll have some clips from him as we move out through the course of the afternoon. You're going to hear from Stan Bowman, including, I want to get to a very interesting comment that he made this morning in a couple of minutes. Curtis Lazar will be on the show live at around 5 o'clock this afternoon. I have been interviewing Curtis for since he was 16 or 17, I guess, and he was playing for the Oil Kings. He usually joins me every offseason, and now he joins me as a member of the Oilers organization. He was signed today as well. We will also have a live interview with Matt Tomkins, who's an Edmonton native, signed for some organizational goaltending depth. I love guys that have great stories. And I think he has a great story. Played in the Alberta Junior Hockey League, played in the NCAA, has a few NHL games under his belt, was on the Canadian Olympic team a few years ago, and now signed by his hometown team. Whether or not he's going to be on the Oilers roster or not, maybe is a question. But I think he's a great story. So he's going to join me live at around 4 this afternoon. Oh, Hernan Salas is going to check in as well in about 17 minutes. That'll be fun to have Hernan come on with me. I love that guy. And a little bit later on, the Golden Bears basketball team has a new head coach. His name is Geoff Pippus. He played for the team less than a decade ago, and now he's going to be the head coach. So we'll have that story as well. Man, we pretty much got you covered. Oh, and the Elks play on Sunday, of course, against the Ottawa Red Blacks. But we'll wrap up the coverage of them once we get closer to game time as the Elks look for their first win of the season and a rare win in the month of July. Obviously, they have not started seasons well for quite a while. My name is Reid Wilkins, by the way. Welcome if you're new to the program. Jason Milne is usually with me. He's on holidays this week. Zachary Kubish is the other voice that you're going to hear occasionally and doing the sports updates. Kub, how are you quickly?
Doing good, staying cool with all this heat in here.
Did you watch any fireworks yesterday?
I did not, actually, but it was my mother's birthday, so happy birthday, belated birthday to her.
Happy birthday, Belinda.
Belinda, yeah, totally, yeah.
What is your mom's name?
Heather.
Heather, yes. I believe I briefly met Heather at the Estes. My apologies for not remembering her name.
It's all good.
Fireworks last night. I moseyed down to the promenade and watched the fireworks coming from, well, I guess they actually come from, what's it called down there where the Huskies practice underneath the high-level bridge there? I don't even know what that field is actually called after all these years.
I know which one. Kinsman, near the Kinsman.
Yeah, down by the Kinsman there. So it was funny. I was standing on the promenade, probably about 118th Street, looking southeast, and a couple minutes before the fireworks for the downtown fireworks started, you could barely see some fireworks in the distance. I guess that must have been from Mill Woods. Probably could see those. You know, the Earth does curve a little bit, right? So you couldn't see them. The Earth is like, let's face it, the Earth is flat, but it's slightly crowned. It's like the golf greens at Pinehurst. But anyway, you could see some of the fireworks. But fireworks are always fun. I have found, you know what I didn't do, Coob? I didn't take pictures or video of the fireworks because I find I've done this in the past, and a picture or a video of a fireworks show never does it justice. You'll go to a fireworks show and you'll think, oh, this looks great, and you'll snap a photo, and they're never bright enough. You never seem to capture it, and then you might put it on social media or something, and then I would think the pictures would be like, well, those fireworks sucked. So I just took it in. I didn't watch it through my phone. I watched it through my human eyes,
which I appreciate.
One of which works quite well. The other one's still coming along.
It's close though, but you enjoyed it with
but I did that on Canada Day. I had a pretty good Canada Day. Well, I hosted a show here with what's the guy's name here? Uwanuk, with the guy that's
Matsu,
who what did I do? I spent time with my parents yesterday. I saw a buddy that I don't get to see very much. Went for a beer with him on Monday night, so I kind of tie that into the Canada Day festivities. So it was pretty good. It was pretty good. 780-218-9999 is how you can get in touch, by the way. That's the good old... Are you monitoring the text messages?
I have both of my eyes on them.
You got both his eyes on them. 780-218-9999 is the afternoon inbox presented by River Crew Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 Restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week. That is from 2 to 5 p.m. You can email me, reid@edmontonsportstalk.com. Reid is spelled R-E-I-D. And you can also jump into the nasty chat. That's what we call the chat function, the chat feature going on YouTube. You do not have to be a nasty person or say nasty things to jump into the nasty chat. And if you are taking us in on YouTube, first of all, if you haven't already, subscribe to Edmonton Sports Talk there and give this show a like. Hit that thumbs up button. Like we say, hammer it, but really you can only do it once. But what you can do is encourage other people to do it, or come into the YouTube stream to check out the show. Now, we understand some of you maybe can't take it in on YouTube, but that's also fine. And we also thank you for listening. We have the audio streams on iHeartRadio. That's an app. On TuneIn Radio. That's an app. And maybe you're getting us on a podcast in the future, so you can subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcast. There are like thousands of podcast platforms out there. Aren't there, Coop?
Like YouTube has one, Amazon has one, Google, everybody
Apple
has one. Yeah.
Well, even on iHeart,
you get a podcast,
on iHeart, you can get the show as a podcast.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. You just gotta favorite the show or register for the show or something like that. Yeah.
So many ways to listen.
Yeah, it's quite amazing, actually. That's why side note here, I get a little frustrated when people say, "I don't know how to listen to you." And it's like, well, Reid, I'm sorry you left Chet. Now I can never listen to you again. And I'm like, really? Because it's actually not that hard. You pick up your phone, you download an app one time, and then you just listen to it on iHeart or TuneIn. And then whenever you open that app, if it's the most recent station that you played, and we are still a radio station, right, for all intents and purposes. We just deliver it. We don't use AM or FM waves. Things are changing, and we've changed with the times. So, and then if we're the most recent station you listen to, it just starts playing again. Or if you listen to other stuff, you just look for our logo and tap on it, and you're off and running. And some of the newer vehicles are even getting it, so it's even on the touch screen, right? So we're not. I'm saying this because we do need your help out there. We do need your help growing our audience, because I have had people say, "Oh, I'd like to listen to Dustin. I'd like to listen to Hernan. I'd like to listen to Tom." I don't have a lot of people say they'd like to listen to a Wannock. Or people say, Reid, I'd like to listen to you again. What the heck do I do? Well, it's actually quite simple. You may have to politely walk someone through it, but it's pretty cool. And once you're on there, like, you don't have to worry about a station changing its frequency or its call numbers, right, Hernan? It's always the same. It's always Edmonton's Sports Talk. You don't have to worry about where it is on the dial or if they all of a sudden disappear or move somebody else. Just saying. All right. 780-218-9999 is how you text us, the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Andrew Mangiapane in the Nasty Chat. Oh, this guy has time for Curtis and Matt, but not the other signing. Noted. Geez, Andrew, you must have a short memory. I was in your Zoom call this morning and asked you 2 questions, both of which we're going to play the answer to a little bit later on. Is this the same person that pretends to be Marchand and Kapanen and Doughty? It's got to be the same user.
No,
it's got to be the same user.
Well, we have a large reach here at EST, so maybe Mangiapane's just checking in, right?
Maybe he's just checking in. He's like, what are these guys going to say about me? Anyway, so are Canada geese the Brad Marchand of the animal kingdom? They kind of are,
lick, but they will bite. They have teeth.
Right.
So, I mean, it's probably fair to make that comparison, right?
So they're pretty ornery, and I think they'd be a little bit cheap. Right? I think they'd be a little bit cheap.
They squawk. They can talk,
All right. We appreciate you tuning in this afternoon, no matter how you are doing it. We'll have clips from Mangiapane and Bowman throughout the show, and as I said, Tomkins and Lazar are scheduled to join us live at 4 and 5 o'clock, respectively. I want to dive right into this comment, though, from Stan Bowman, because to me, this is now everybody has their own things, right? And as you people know, I have my own things that I think are the storylines. And in my mind, this is the storyline for the Oilers. Probably the biggest, to me, the biggest one. And I'm not saying the only one, and I'm not saying there are other question marks, of course. But you continue to not have a true top 6. 6 like top 2 lines where you can move guys around. Now, Mangiapane is coming in. I think this is a good signing. I think he's going to be a good player. I don't think he's going to come in and score 30 or 40 goals. Quite frankly, I think 20 would be quite good for him. But nonetheless, that would be nice to get from the Oilers, especially if he plays hard and forechecks and can kill the occasional penalty, all that kind of stuff. But I asked Stan Bowman today, okay, you're talking about the top 2 lines, and it appears to me that you don't have true top 6 wingers or top 6 forwards to fill out those top 2 lines. So I said, is the 6th spot, per se, going to come internally, or do you still have to look outside the organization? Here's what he said.
I would expect that probably to come from within. We've got a number of guys that played in that role last year. Both Kapanen and Podkolzin did for stretches. I do expect Matt Savoy to be on our team and to play a role. We got David Tomasek, who's played a lot of wing as well as some center. So I think we've got a number of internal candidates that I think deserve the opportunity to show us what they can do. So I wouldn't be expecting to add any more players to play in that part of our team. I think if we're looking for anything else, it might be another body for more like the bottom 6. But I think we also have Adam Henrique, who he's mostly played center here, but I think he's someone that we could use on the wing if we wanted to try him on the top 2 lines as well. That's an option for us. Now that we have Frederick in, who can play center, I think that gives us some flexibility. And Freddie can certainly play on the wing too, on those top 2 lines. So to give it a bit of a different look. So I think we've got a lot of options. I think that's the one thing I like about this mixture is obviously we know that Nugent Hopkins and Hyman are in Mangiapane. There's 3 of the 4 wingers to play in the top 6. And the other one, we don't have just one person we're hoping can fill it. We're going to try some different looks. And I'm sure that the way Chris likes to mix and match, I'm sure we'll get a bunch of different players get the opportunity, and then we'll find out which one is the best fit as we move forward.
All right. So now, of course, line combinations are going to move around. Of course, there might be injuries. Of course, there might be a player who deserves some more ice time or gets to move up for a time. But I still think you kind of have your players that are generally perceived as top 6 players. So you got, as he mentioned, you have McDavid and Draisaitl, and you have Mangiapane and Nugent Hopkins as Hyman as the other wingers. And then he touched on Savoy and Tomasek and Henrique and Frederick and Kapanen as maybe guys who could play in the top 6. Fair enough. I would have serious questions about any of those players as full-time top 6 solutions. All of them, any and all, quite frankly. Kapanen played very well at times, wasn't consistent. Look, Kapanen had 5 goals in 57 regular season games and 3 playoff goals. 2 of them were empty netters. The one that was scored on a goalie was massive, don't get me wrong. But to me, a very inconsistent player. He was a waiver claim. Frederick, interesting player. I still think I'd sooner see him on the third line. Maybe the Oilers don't see it that way. Savoy could be very, very good. But I don't want to, I'm reluctant to just say to a younger player, okay, go, you got to score 25, your first full year in the league. Tomasek, the guy from Europe, and I say guy, he's not a kid, he's 29. I have no idea. Generally, those haven't worked out well for the Oilers in the past, and I think most of them don't work out great around the league. So that's kind of that list there. Hopefully one of them works out. I think it's a pretty big if. I think this team might be seriously challenged to score as frequently as they did last season, and I'll look at that a little more closely when I do crunch the numbers for Gallo LOP at around 3:45 this afternoon. But that's Bowman's view of it. I wouldn't say that I share that view for the most part, but he's the GM. He's putting some trust in players, and he's putting some trust in his head coach to find the combinations. More from Bowman, and again, more from Andrew Mangiapane as we move along throughout the afternoon. At this time every day, we do something pretty fun. It's called the Off-Topic Topic for William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best can be, is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout, 780-454-4536. All right, my phone tells me that it's 31 degrees outside. Celsius. Hey, Coop, Celsius.
Good to know, because that would be below freezing
Fahrenheit.
temperature.
Yeah, Fahrenheit,
right?
that wouldn't be as warm. Now, I guess there could be some thunderstorms this afternoon and tonight, and it might cool off to like 17, 16 overnight. It was pretty hot last night. I had trouble sleeping. I do not have air conditioning in my dwelling. And I struggle to sleep when it's hot. I do have a portable air conditioner, but it doesn't go in the window of my main bedroom. I could sleep in the spare bedroom. I'm not as comfortable. Yada yada yada. So I found it pretty hot last night. So the off-topic topic: tips to stay cool at night and sleep better when you don't have air conditioning. Okay. I will give one that I have not tried, but a buddy of mine a few years ago said that he filled up an empty 2-liter pop bottle with water, put it in the freezer, and then at night took it out and basically cuddled it, like held it tight to his chest to sleep.
That's a little bit too much for me. I don't know. Does he put a pillowcase around it at least?
Well, I don't. Yeah, you think maybe I don't know if he put something around it. But okay. People are already saying if you have a basement, sleep there. Yes, that's not. I mean, I kind of have a basement, but there isn't a place to sleep down there. I guess I could sleep in my car in my sunken garage. I don't know.
A little bit more uncomfortable.
I could sleep in my trunk, and then I just got to crawl through the back seat to drive myself to work.
Yeah.
See, this is an interesting one from Jasmine. I used to put my PJs in the freezer and took a cold shower. Like, okay, so I've been reading those Reacher books. Well, not lately because I got one eye, but there was one of the Reacher books. He was in Texas during a heat wave, and it's to stay cool. Now, this was not to sleep at night, but when he went out in the heat, before he went outside, he would douse his shirt in like freezing cold water and then put it on. And then, yes, it heats up while you're outside, but it keeps you cool in the process.
That's smart.
Yeah, I guess. And I suppose you dry off pretty quick. To everybody saying about taking a cold shower, I have thought that actually if you take a hot shower and then when you get out of the water, you feel cooler, that might be a way to beat the heat a little bit, is actually taking a hot shower. And then when you get out into the air, it's cooler relative to what you were just in. And that makes you feel cooler.
Yeah, well, you kind of fake out your body in a sense to make it seem like, wow, it's much colder.
You got to
out here.
fake out your body, baby.
I haven't tried that one. I've tried a cold shower, but the problem with that is once you walk out into the heat, then you're already hot so fast again, right?
Yeah.
I find your body heats up faster than it cools
We
down,
got
so.
people throwing stuff in the nasty chat. We'll read these throughout the course of the show. You can text 780-218-9999 as well. That is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. It's 20 minutes after 3, so Matt Tomkins, the new goalie, coming up at 4. Curtis Lazar back in Edmonton, the former Oil King. He's going to join me at 5. Hernan Salas in a couple of minutes. We got buying or selling for Damon Bunting. The oil understood for GCL Diesel. Crunching the numbers is going to be for Gallo LOP. And I'm going to explain why I'm so concerned about the Oilers' goal scoring. I kind of broke that down. We'll dive into that too. Here comes the Coop.
The Oilers have signed former Oil King Curtis Lazar to 1-year contract at league minimum, with the 30-year-old having 2 goals and 5 points in 48 games with the Devils last season. In other news, Rogers now owns 75% stake in Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, becoming a majority owner after purchasing Bell Media's shares at 37.5%. For the Devils, they've extended Cody Glass to a 2-year contract extension worth $2.5 million per season. Meanwhile, Mason Appleton is off to Detroit on a 2-way deal worth $3 million annually. In Elks news, they've signed American defensive lineman Tyreek Johnson to their practice squad. Johnson spending the last 5 seasons playing NCAA football in South Carolina with the Gamecocks. In baseball, the Jays are in action against the Yankees. Jose Barrios gets the start for Toronto. First pitch at 5:07. Meanwhile, the Riverhawks host the Lefties. Edmonton winning 6-3 last night. Listen to the full game on any of ESPN's audio streams. Coverage starts just after 7. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring, proudly serving Edmonton and area for over 30 years. Their West End showroom is open 7 days a week. You can also shop online at ParamountFlooring.ca. More with Reid Wilkins and Hernan Salas sneaking in just on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
2 guys and a
One
goalie.
that stood out for me as well is, I'll just say, this pisses me off. Establishment of a full-time emergency backup goalie, or EBUG, position within organizations. And the reason it ticks me off is because I love the story. I love the story of the Golden Bear player coming up with the green and gold pads on and the green and gold helmet sitting on the bench.
2 guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Win a trip to Osheaga with the Banquet and Aperol. We're sending one lucky guest to Montreal with flights, hotel, and 2 tickets to one of Canada's hottest music festivals. Enter by July 26. Details in store or on the Banquet app. Get real. Play hard.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Summer in Edmonton means 3 things: warm weather, long nights, and plenty of sports. From the lake to the links, you can boost your summer fun with hundreds of casino games, live betting on your favorite sports teams, and access to popular lotteries. All in one app, anywhere in the province. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code YAG50 to claim a $50 free bet. That's promo code YAG50 for a $50 free bet on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Kayaks, bikes, camping gear? Make space for summer fun with Sentinel Storage. Spend more time on adventures with your outdoor gear and less time looking for them. Sentinel Storage. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca.
right. Hope you're having a great afternoon. Hernan Salas is here. Coob is here as well. Coob, before we, Hernan can jump in anytime, but you got some texts. 780-218-9999 River Creek Resort and Casino Hotline. Give us 2 or 3 that are coming in on one of our topics.
Yes, one on the off-topic topic here. To stay cool in all this heat, freeze an ice block. Put it in front of a fan. As it melts, cold air acts as an AC. It works. You're welcome. Raider Jesse coming in with that. And Lacombe Drew also chipping in on a different topic, a bird topic. I hold that Canada and America should trade national birds. Bald eagles are stoic, beautiful, but can cause chaos if needed. Sounds like Canada. Canadian geese are obnoxious. They're everywhere, and they get pissed off easily. Sounds like the States.
I never thought of that.
Who says no?
Trade for bird. Trade the national bird. 1 for 1. How are you doing, buddy? Thanks for sticking around, by the way. Hernan Salas is here.
No problem.
I'm making you work overtime.
Nope.
I'm kind of a bad man.
I just finished up all the post-production stuff for our shows. So I'm good.
I got to learn how to do that still.
Happy to help, man. I know Jay's off for this week, but I told you, whenever you wanted me on, I mean, your audience is probably upset that I'm on.
No, they love you. Do you have air conditioning where you
We
live?
do. Yeah. It's a must for the GF.
Yeah.
Until we moved in together, I never used air conditioning in my life. I didn't use it in my car. I didn't use it on vacation in my hotel rooms.
You don't use it in your car?
Nope. Windows, baby.
Just do windows? Okay.
I don't mind being hot. Like, we get such short summers here that, like, I want to be hot.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to be cold.
Right.
Like, makes no sense to me. It's like, it's plus 30, but I'm going to go inside where it's cool.
But do you have trouble sleeping? Because I have trouble sleeping in the heat. I like the warm weather otherwise.
I have no trouble with the heat at all.
Okay.
Like, when we went to Mexico, I'd get up early and go get our spots by the pool, put our towels down, kind of stake your chairs. And we always got the same too, where there was absolutely zero shade. We were in the sun for 8-9 hours every day.
Oh, nice.
Straight sun. And if we needed to cool off, we just jump in the pool.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one about getting a big block of ice or like trying to sleep in something cold, or like I said, my buddy filled up a big pop bottle, a 2-liter bottle, and froze water in it and then held it. I mean, I have in the past soaked a towel, like a bath towel, in freezing cold water, and then just kind of put it over my chest as almost like a second sheet.
Yeah.
And that works for a while.
Yeah.
Some people are saying just get air conditioning, Reid. That's the solution if you don't have air conditioning. Well, fair enough.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. It does help out sometimes, but I'm not a big AC guy.
Interesting. I've only had it in one place I lived in. I had a condo in Lloydminster for about 3 years, and it had AC. And let's face it, even most of the summer, you don't need it.
No.
But then some nights some days you're thankful for it.
No. I'm just I like being hot, so I'm a bit of a weirdo that way. But
I don't think you're a weirdo at all.
Well, you're the Latino heat. Of course, you're gonna like the heat, right? I wish I had AC in my place, but I reside in the basements, so it's the coolest part of the house. So I can't complain much. I go upstairs, it's terrible.
And I'm a weirdo. I love running in this weather. Like, the hotter it is, the more I want to run.
Okay, so Hernan's doing the half marathon in August, which I'm thrilled you're doing. I'm a little jealous, to be honest with you, but not in like a mean way, in a positive way. So what time of day are you training?
So I'm running pretty much like every second day. And sometimes I take 2 days in between, just if I'm feeling like my back's not up to it.
Yeah.
Because rest is very important, I learned.
Yeah.
So I run usually at 4:00.
You're an afternoon runner.
Well, because I
guess with your work schedule.
Yeah, I don't want to run in the mornings. I can't. So I don't like to run too late in the evening. So I like to run right at 4, because then I can come home, shower up, cook, and then just relax.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not kind of run on a after supper or anything like that. So I usually run from 4, and depending on the run of the day, I'm usually back by 5:36.
See, when I was running, I was almost exclusively a morning runner. And when I would run after supper occasionally, my stomach would feel awful.
Yeah.
I like getting up, maybe just having very little bit to eat, and going and running. And I'm not an early riser, as I'm sure you've noticed by when I roll in here and how sleepy I usually am. But I'd like to get up early and run, even if I just ran for a half hour or if I did a longer one. I like doing it, like being done, before 9. Well, I guess before, like I used to work afternoons and evenings, so being done by 10. I like getting up and doing it and kind of having it done.
Yeah. I have ran in the morning, like on days when it was raining, like in early June, late May, I would hit the treadmill in my building. And I did it in the morning, and you're right. You feel great because then you have the rest of the day. I'm running with one of my buddies from the Elks, one of the equipment guys. Yeah, he likes to run, and then we ran with Dom last time because Dom's doing the marathon as well. But it's what's been great, Reid. I've always been I've enjoyed running the last 5. I started running during COVID because there's nothing to do,
right?
And but I was always very inconsistent. Like I'd go hard for 2 weeks and then I'd disappear for a month. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? This is the first time I've trained consistently, and it's amazing because I'm noticing my pace improving. Just everything. I'm excited for this. I just want to see where I'm at come August 17th.
Well, that's why I'm excited for you is the improvement you're going to see, because it can be gradual, and that's the hard part about getting into running. Yeah. Because no matter how old you are or how athletic you might have been at some point in your life, distance running or trying to train for a 10K or a half marathon or a full is hard. And you're going to think you suck when you start. But it's amazing how fast you can improve and feel better. There can be some weight loss involved. I don't want to guarantee that for people, but it can just help how you feel or even how you eat or what you want to eat, like stuff like that just all helps.
It's great because actually my sister noticed the other day. She's like, I noticed it in your, because in my your cheeks that you're slimmed down.
Right.
I was like, oh, thank you. You're the first person to say that. But not just that, Reid. Like you said, it's like I can do long runs now, and I'm no longer sore the next day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like my body's already getting used to it, where it's like there's not a lot of soreness after the run. Directly after the run, I'm a little sore and all that, but it's been going great. Like, it's tough some days, I'm not going to lie. When you're hitting that 13, 14K, you're like, why am I doing this?
Sure.
But once you're done, man, there's just this feeling you have that running long distance. And that's why 21K to me is such a great challenge. And I'm super excited. And the training's going well. And I love seeing that I'm improving. Because you said the first month, I didn't see much.
Right.
Because your body's getting used to it and you're doing different distances and all that, but right now I'm feeling great, and I'm actually enjoying the training.
Well, I'm glad you are, because you have to enjoy the process before you get to the race. Once you get to race day, trust me, all the hard work is done.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I wound up doing, how many did I do? I want to say 10 to 12 half marathons, 2 fulls. Those were disasters. And then I just was a runner for about 15 years, and it was awesome, quite frankly. And the half marathon day, I mean, it's a little different because all of a sudden you're in a crowd of people. Yeah, so that affects your pace off the start. But then once you settle in, everybody's in a good mood.
Yeah.
People are along the routes, like cheering and having fun signs and stuff like that. And then when you get into that last 2K, like you're gonna cross the finish line with a huge smile on your face. Yeah. And you, at least for me, like I cared about my time, but then when you just finish, you finished. Like I look back and I know I was kind of half bragging to you about my personal best a couple of days, which by running standards isn't that fast, but for me it was good. But really it was just a day I remember finishing and feeling happy and having a sense of accomplishment.
No, that's why, like the time, like I'm tracking my times and all that, but like I just want to finish it and be healthy. And like you said, I think it's gonna be such a great, and it's probably not gonna be my last one.
I hope not.
I'll probably do it.
Oh, you'll want to do more. Yeah. You'll want to do more.
I don't know about a full one. It kind of like that. Truly, like that's 43K, man. Like I.
Well, see, and I did the Edmonton one, and my knee went wonky partway through.
Yeah.
And then I was lucky enough to get a spot in the New York Marathon a few months later, so I went and did it injured. But I just knew I was going to have to walk, which wasn't so bad walking through all 5 boroughs at some points. But that's another ant. Like I say to people, if you can do a 10K, you can do a half. Yeah. You can go from 10 to 21 up to 42K. Like that's a huge jump. Like 21 to 42. That's a huge jump. And the things that can go wrong with your body along the way. Okay. We'll keep talking about
Yeah,
this
of
throughout the
course.
summer. I love talking about with you. Hopefully, I'm being generally supportive of you. All right. I mentioned sense of accomplishment. Should the Stan Bowman and the Oilers organization have a sense of accomplishment right now about free agency and the draft?
I mean, with what they had to move with in terms of money and the no movements, Reid. I said it on our show. I think you can say it's okay. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's fantastic. I think it's just okay. I mean, you move two guys that we all knew they were going to move to create cap space in Arvidsson and Kane. I think you brought in a good player in Andrew Mangiapane. I truly do. Curtis Lazar is, he's going to fight for that fourth line spot, sure. But I was just listening to your first segment. For me, the troublesome I'm having, the troublesome I see for this team is, and Stan Bowman said today, we have a lot of guys that can play in the. No, you don't.
No, they don't.
You don't. You're hoping. And that's why, I hate where this team's at. They went to back-to-back finals. And again, we go into the offseason hoping Matt Savoy can play, hoping Thomasek can play. We're hoping Mangiapane can have chemistry with Draisaitl, because we all thought Skinner and Arvidsson were locks with Draisaitl last July 1st. How did that turn out, Reid? That didn't work out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So when you say you have, we can try 6-7 guys, that's bad roster construction too, because you still don't know. You're going to try 5-6 guys? That to me shows that you've done a poor job building this team.
Yes, I think that's a good way to put it. They have 5 or 6 third line players that they're hoping to be second line players, as opposed to having
legitimate,
as opposed to having 7 or 8 top 6 players, 2 of whom are going to be relegated, quote unquote, to the third line. So yeah, it is a little bit too much of a gamble for me. In the next segment, I'm going to crunch the numbers for Gallo LLP, because I like to break it down too. It's one thing to have a gut feeling. So I actually kind of added up some goals and what we might realistically expect from everybody. And for some, I kind of went by, okay, this group of players might score this many.
Yeah.
And right now, I'm like, how do they score as many goals as they scored last year? And look, I know a lot of people defense this, goaltending this. Of course, those are other topics, but I'm going to focus on the forwards today because, Mangiapane's the guy who got signed, and there were some Perry's a pretty significant guy going somewhere else, even though we knew the Oilers probably weren't going to pay him that much. So that's how I'm going to look at that. Elks sort of ramping up again. So let me ask you this. When there's a break, because how long you were at the Elks? 2 seasons about?
2.5.
2.5 seasons?
Yeah.
So when they play on a Thursday and then don't play again until the following week, so it's a Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah.
Will they actually truly get days off?
Yes.
Or do guys still come in and watch film and do their stretching or throw the ball or whatever?
So the guys, you get the days off. Now, if you want to come in and watch film or work out, that's on the player.
Okay.
Like, you've been given the day off, you don't have to come, and all that fun stuff, right? So I know they got 2 days off, which is normal because you had such a long break.
Yeah.
Then you come back for video, you come back for workouts and all that. You start going over the game plan for Ottawa. So yesterday was day A, technically.
Okay.
And then today they start off with day 1 because it's Wednesday, right? And then so day 1, day 2, day 3, you got to submit your depth chart, you got to submit your injury reports, and then you got walkthrough day on Saturday.
Okay.
So yeah, the players get time off in this. So,
but do you think, because we've heard about what film freaks some of them can be, especially some of the quarterbacks, and we've heard about how Calvillo, like when Jeff Hecht was here in the fall, when he was with the Owls, I think he was with the Owls for a while.
Yeah.
And he said just Calvillo would never leave. And so do you think Ford and Fajardo, though, might have looked at some stuff on their days off? Or I guess they got iPads and computers at home, but...
Yeah, because now with the systems they use, everybody gets it sent to them. And then, I remember back when Jake Zarezna, he's here now. But I remember he used to have, was it Jake? No, I think it was Niles. He would have all the linebackers over and they'd at his place. They'd order food and they'd watch film. Right? Yeah. So a lot of the position groups, one guy will invite the whole group over and they'll watch film together.
Okay.
Yeah. So they do it. They can do a lot of it at home. A lot of them don't do it at the stadium anymore. So
right.
Yeah.
Which I guess. Well, I remember Jed telling me a few years ago. I can't remember who it was. I don't know if he overlapped with Bass still.
Okay.
but he went to like one of the better linebackers' homes, he thought, to hang out. And so this would have been, when did Jed come? Like late 80s, early 90s? Yeah. And this guy's got like stacks of VHS tapes, and he's just sitting on his couch, put in a tape, watch it, okay. And watching. And the fascinating thing, like I love these stories about the game preparation and all the stuff we don't see. Like Jed said too, that the best football players also watch themselves to make sure they're not tipping off anything.
Yeah.
You know, with even their stance, or am I leaning a certain way? You know, like look the same on every play. Or do something on a running play 3 times in a row, and the defense thinks, oh, that's a running play, and then no, it's like all these little tricks like that you see on tape.
It's crazy the depth they go into, because so in the mornings, all the whole team has meetings, right?
Yeah,
like the offense will meet, they'll go through film. So the morning is when the coaches get their film time with the players, and then they practice, and then after that, when Jones was there, I remember the quarterbacks always and the receivers had a quick film session after practice.
Yeah.
Like from 2 to 2:30. But then after practice, most of the guys are free to go, right? Because you're only allowed to keep the players for a certain amount of time.
Right.
At the facility. Right. So it's an interesting dynamic. It's a lot of work. The film stuff is just amazing.
Yeah.
Like I'd sit there with the video girl, Shaylee, and I'd just be like, what are you cutting? You know, like it's amazing, the technology now and all the angles and everything you can see. The coach goes, I want this, I want that, I want that, I want this play. And they cut it down to like, it's just perfection. So the pro teams have everything at their disposal to be great.
I remember, because sometimes Morley would come back from practice and tell me stuff that like we couldn't report, right? Because you get little tidbits. But I think I can tell this story now. But they were looking at another team, and either Riley or Moss told them this at the time. There was a DB on the team that they were going to play. He always like kind of lined up in the same spot with the same body posture.
Okay.
But if his foot was pointed directly at the line of scrimmage, he was playing man, and if his foot was angled, he was playing zone. So Riley was just like, yeah, all I have to do is look at him. I don't have to like look at the linebackers or anything. I just look over this one DB, because he probably never realized he was doing that. And
that's a good point,
and the Esks picked up on it. And that was how he read that. Like, that's fascinating.
It's like the movie The Program, when the college team, and they're trying to find the same thing, and they said, look at the linemen and the color of their hand. Like if they went, like they had tape.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right? Like if they pressed real hard, their hand would go white, and they were going a certain package.
Oh, right. Yeah. All that kind of stuff. That's fun.
Yeah, it was great. So, it's interesting to find a lot of those tidbits, and I think you see more in the NFL because they have those guys that kind of just watch the other team for the signs,
or sometimes even tape the other team's practice. Hernan.
Well, because last year with Jones, he got a little paranoid, and then we had these big boards, and we'd cover the coordinators, so the guys up top couldn't see what they were calling. Yeah, because
the paranoia in football. We'll do a full segment on that
ridiculous.
Someday. Yeah, it's out of control. Even in high school, trust me. All right, Hernan joining me here in the Banquet studio. The Banquet summer feature menu is here: bacon wrapped pickles, spicy Korean noodle bowls, and cocktails like the Pink Lady and the Blueberry Hibiscus Smash.
Love it.
Try it now at the Banquet. Get real, play hard. Thanks for sticking around. That was fun.
No problem, man. Time to go for some wings.
All right. Jay's play of the day. We'll still have that even though Jay is away. Crunching the numbers for Gallo LLP. Goalie Matt Tomkins at the top of the hour. It's Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports.
Former Oil King Curtis Lazar is signed with the Oilers at league minimum on a one-year deal. The 30-year-old played 48 games for the Devils last season, recording 2 goals and 5 points. Around the league, Sportsnet's Elliot Friedman is reporting that P.O. Suter is off to St. Louis on a 2-year contract worth over $4 million a season. Friedman adding that Gustav Nyquist will sign with the Jets. Meanwhile, Caden Korzak signed a 4-year extension with the Knights, carrying an average salary of over $3 million. In Elks news, they've signed American defensive lineman Tyreek Johnson to the practice squad. Johnson spending the last 5 seasons playing NCAA football in South Carolina with the Gamecocks. In NBA news, the Mavericks have signed first overall pick Cooper Flagg to his 4-year rookie contract worth a total of $63 million total. MLB action as the Jays and Yankees rematching just after 5. Toronto's Jose Barrios takes the mound right now. Or for the Riverhawks, they play the lefties. Action starts at 7:05. Listen to the full game on any of EST's audio streams. This sports update is brought to you by Find Edmonton. Find takes your unused furniture and home goods to help those moving out of homelessness. Get donations picked up or drop them off free of charge. Visit findedmonton.com or call them at 780-988-1717. Crunching the numbers for Gallo LLP is next. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
The Oil Stream.
Is Mangiapane legit Arvidsson just $400,000 less? Like, that's a wash, really. And all the other signings are not needle movers. What do you think about that comment from Hersey?
The end part where this is going, I am on board and understand that feeling. And I think we've seen a lot of it the last couple days. I get it. I understand where people are coming from with that.
The Oil Stream, presented by Boston Pizza. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons at noon. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Do you have pets? Horses? Chickens? Did the place you used to get your feed recently close down? Have no fear. Clover Bar Feeds is here. Whether it's dogs, cats, horses, or chickens, Clover Bar Feeds has you covered. Offering a large variety of food and feed, you can trust the experts at Clover Bar Feeds. They've been family owned and operated for over 60 years. This means you can expect nothing less than top-notch service and selection. Come visit them at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park or visit them online at cloverbarfeeds.com.
Everyone knows when you need a truck now, you call Dawn.
That's right. You call us, Frontier Cartage, when you need driver coverage or have a truck that's down.
You call Dawn from Frontier Cartage.
When you've got way more freight to move than you thought.
You call Dawn from Frontier Cartage.
When you need a truck that's available and ready to start anytime you need.
You call Dawn at Frontier Cartage, 587-222-5826. 587-222-5826.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know. All right, still coming up, you'll hear more from Oilers GM Stan Bowman. You're going to hear from new winger Andre Mangiapane. They both had Zoom availabilities this morning. We'll be joined live on the show by Curtis Lazar and also by goaltender Matt Tomkins, both signed by the Oilers over the last couple of days. 780-218-9999, River Cree Resort and Casino inbox if you would like to text us. If you're taking us in on YouTube, remember to click that thumbs up button if you haven't already. And don't be shy to share the show with other people and encourage them to check it out and give us a thumbs up as well. Okay, well, he's not here, but we're still doing it. Coob, why is my audio not coming in? Okay, we'll have to fix it for later. We'll have to... Oh, he's hitting a switch.
It's Jay.
Oh, there we go.
It's play.
That's beautiful.
He's Jay. It's today. It's Jay's play of the day. It's Jay's play of the day. Jay's play of the the day.
All right, it is Jay's Play of the Day presented by Play Alberta. Why limit your choices when you can have it all? Play Alberta is your go-to app for casino games, sports betting, and lottery, all in one place with easy access to real money games. You can enjoy everything Alberta has to offer right at your fingertips. Download Play Alberta now and start playing today. So here's what you do to find the play of the day. First of all, you go to playalberta.ca or you have the Play Alberta app. You click on sports and then you'll see EST specials on the quick links menu. And we got a few there. We got Dusty's Play of the Day, an early bird bet, a couple other things. And Jay's Play of the Day is looking ahead to Sunday. And it's a player that Mr. Milne has been very high on from the offseason into the season, and that is Elks running back Justin Rankin, one or more TDs for the Elks in the game on Sunday against the Red Blacks. So basically Rankin to score a touchdown. I do the odds. I don't even, do I do the British odds or the American odds? I do the
British odds.
I do the British odds, 2.35 to 1.
Indeed.
2.35 to 1. So you bet 10, you'll win 23.5. Right? Sounds like good math to me.
Sounds like decent math.
Jay's Play of the Day, presented by Play Alberta.
It's Jay, it's Play, he's Jay, it's today. It's Jay's Play of the Day. It's Jay's Play of the Day. Jay's Play of the Day.
All right, yeah, so go to playalberta.ca to check that out. I was talking a little bit about the Oilers' offense or lack of it. And I thought, okay, let's look into this a little more. This is going to be crunching the numbers for Gallo LLP, Chartered Professional Accountants, where they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John at Gallo LLP if you'd like to discuss further how they can crunch your numbers and help your business grow. Visit their website, gallolp.ca. See how Gallo LLP can help your business grow. So last season, the Oilers scored 259 goals, okay? That was 11th in the National Hockey League. So, I'm not going to give... Well, for some players, I'll kind of give a number. And I realize this is a little bit of prediction, a little bit of guesswork, a little bit based on what they've done in the past. But so last year, they got to 259 goals. And I'm wondering right now how they get to that total again. And again, this was a team that didn't score as much as they have other years during the McDavid-Draisaitl era. I mean, 11th in the NHL. Okay, so you're about a third of the way down. I'm going to do some very general projections for the upcoming year. I'm going to combine Draisaitl and McDavid for 80 goals combined. So last year, Draisaitl had 52. McDavid had 26. That's 78. There's been quite a variance in McDavid's scoring. I mean, the one year he had over 60. So I'm going to put Leon and Connor combining for 80 goals. I'm going to trust that Zach Hyman is going to do a little bit better than the 27 he got to this year, and he did miss 9 games during the regular season. So I'm going to put Hyman down for 30, and I'm going to put Nugent Hopkins down for 20 again, which is what he got to this season. Now, we can also maybe just group those 4 guys together, and let's say they score 130 goals combined. Last year, those 4 guys got to 125 combined. So I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that you have those Oilers, their 4 best forwards for goal scoring, get to 130 goals. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, say they'll do a little bit better combined than last year. Bouchard, okay, let's be optimistic with Bouch. He had, 14 last year? I'll give him 15. I'll give Frederick 15. And I'll give Mangiapane 15. Okay? Now, some people might say, Reid, Mangiapane's going to play maybe with Draisaitl. Maybe some of you like him. Maybe you think he's going to get 20, 25. Maybe some of you like Frederick and say, Reid, he got 17 or 18 with Boston. He's going to break out and score 20 with Edmonton. I don't know if I'm quite that optimistic. Maybe some of you are saying Mangiapane is going to be the second coming of Tobias Reeder or Dominic Cahoon, who were supposed to be wingers in the top 6 and didn't do much. So I'm going to give Frederick 15 and Mangiapane 15. Okay. I'm going to give the rest of the defense, other than Bouchard, 25 goals. So how did I roughly arrive at that number? Well, last season, the rest of the defense without Bouchard got to 28 goals. Now, Kulak had a good offensive year. They didn't have Wallman for the full season, so maybe he can bang in a few. So I think 25 is a fair number, maybe even a little bit low, but basically I'm saying that defensemen are going to score 40 goals. And this past season, they were right in that range, right? So we'll say that. Then I look at the rest of the forwards, okay? So this is, who's on this list? Savoy, Henrique, Kapanen, Janmark, Podkolzin, maybe Tomasek, maybe Lazar, maybe Max Jones, maybe Noah Philp. Because there's no more Perry, there's no more Brown, there's no more Arvidsson, there's no more Jeff Skinner. And we can all say what we want about Arvidsson and Jeff Skinner, that maybe they were underwhelming seasons. Skinner still got to 16 goals in 72 games, right? Arvidsson still got to 15 goals in 67 games. So they combined for 31 goals, which is maybe not as much as they were hoping for, but they still scored them, and those are goals that are gone. So the forwards who I just listed, many of them weren't even on the team all of last year, but they combined for 29 goals last season. So I'm looking at Savoy, hardly played. Kapanen got 5 goals. Janmark only got 2 regular season goals. Podkolzin got 8. Tomasek wasn't in the league. Lazar, coming from another team, had a couple. Jones only had 1 with the Oilers last year. So that group that I just listed, for the Oilers to get to 259 goals, they're going to have to score 60 goals, that group of players. So that's why I'm saying that there should be massive question marks about the top 6. And if we're looking at this being a team that can be slightly above average offensively, which is what 11th in the league is, I mean, middle of the pack would be 16th and 17th. So, they're kind of a step above that, but not a massive step. You're looking at some players who have not traditionally scored a ton in the NHL, or who don't really have any NHL experience, to chip in at least semi-regularly. Or you're looking for Leon and Connor to both get 50, and for Hyman to get 40 or something like that, for the Oilers to score as much as they did last year. So that's breaking it down by the numbers, crunching the numbers for Gallo LLP. And that's why I say I think it's, in my mind, very fair to have a pretty big question mark around the offense and around the top 6. Now, maybe I'll be wrong. I'm sure many of you could disagree with these projections and come up with your own numbers. That's fine. This is just what I'm looking at. And some of the guys I have in that list, I think are good players who can contribute in a certain role, Podkolzin being one of them. But again, I don't think you can look at him and say, well, he's going to get 15, 17, 20, 22 goals. Savoy, I hope he's great. I mean, he was a high draft pick with Buffalo. Certainly seems to be projecting in the right direction, but I struggle to put that on a younger player with not a lot of experience, saying, okay, he's going to come in and score 20 to 25. Hopefully he becomes that player, but I can't say that with any certainty right now. So anyway, that's a look at that. Crunch the numbers for Gallo LLP. Here's what we're going to do. We got the 4:00 break. We're going to visit with a guy signed to be an organizational depth goaltender for the Edmonton Oilers, but he's got an incredible story. Edmonton native who's played in a variety of different locations over the course of his career. Matt Tomkins coming up next.
The Lock Shop. It's no surprise that there's a lot of suitors for Ehlers. We did hear that the Avalanche are in the mix. Oh. Like, if he goes to Carolina or one of these places like out east, he'll be welcome back. Everyone will always love him. If he goes in the division, that's going to be a little bit of a different story. I think that'll be tougher to take. That'll be a little bit more of a heel turn for Nick.
The Lock Shop, weekday mornings at 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
If you aren't wearing a Connect belt, what are you waiting for? A one-size-fits-all belt with a smooth, hole-free track system makes it adjustable for the perfect fit. With fully customizable options, you can choose your belt color, material, and buckle to suit your style. 100% Canadian-owned and operated, Connect belts are designed for work, everyday wear, and even a round of golf. Check out the large selection of men's and women's styles at www.knktbelts.com. Connect belts, the perfect fit every time.
River Cree Resort and Casino on K97 proudly present Steve Earle and Reckless Kelly. Featuring small band and acoustic performances, Steve Earle and Reckless Kelly in the venue July 25th. Tickets at rivercreekresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
The Canadian Brewhouse is turning up the flavor this summer with our new summer feature menu. Try our jerk chicken skewers, Cajun shrimp tostadas, and street corn salsa. Bold bites made for patio season. Get them while it's hot. The Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
Year-old Curtis Lazar is signed with the Oilers on a one-year deal at league minimum. The former Oil King had 5 points in 48 games with the Devils last season. And tons of other signings around the league. Morgan Frost reportedly re-upping with the Flames for 2 years at $4.5 million a season. Gustav Nyquist headed to Winnipeg on a one-year deal. And Pia Suter going to St. Louis on a two-year contract worth over $4 million average annually. And the Islanders also signed KHL defenseman 24-year-old Maxim Shabanov to a one-year entry-level contract. For the Elks, they've added American defensive lineman Tyreek Johnson to their practice squad, while in the association, Cooper Flagg, first overall pick to the Mavericks, has signed his 4-year rookie contract. He'll get paid nearly $14 million in his first season. While in baseball, it's the Jays and Yankees going at it. Jose Barrios gets the ball for Toronto, first pitch at 5:07. And back in Edmonton, the Riverhawks play the Lefties just after 7 o'clock. Catch the full game on any of ESPN's audio streams. Find the full schedule at edmontonsportstalk.com. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date. Hour 2 of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
Okay, thanks for joining us this afternoon. 2 minutes after 4. Jason Milne off this week. Reid Wilkins with you. Zachary Kubish here as well. We're with you until 6 o'clock on the weekend. Of course, we'll have Hello Hockey, 10 a.m. on Saturday. The VIP Golf Show on Sunday morning. And 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon, the Green and Gold Kickoff Show with Jason Milne and Matthew Wannick leading into the 5 o'clock game between the Elks and the Red Blacks. And then they will be on after the game also for the Green and Gold postgame show as the Elks look for their first victory of the season against the Red Blacks, who have been having some struggles of their own. Somebody in the Nasty Chat saying that I didn't account for Henrique's 12 goals. I did in last year's totals, and then I put him in that group of players this year that's going to have to score 60 goals combined, likely for them to get to 259 again this season. So anyway, I did account for it in my projections. I don't know if Henrique is going to score as many goals as he did last season. We will see. Okay, really pleased to be joined by this guy. He was signed by the Edmonton Oilers to a new contract a couple of days ago. It is goaltender Matt Tomkins checking in. Matt, it's Reid Wilkins. How are you doing?
Hey, Reid. Thanks.
Okay, Matt, we're just going to have to reconnect you there. We sometimes get a little bit of a gremlin in the line, so we'll get that ironed out. Another new guy to the organization, Andrew Mangiapane. Here's what he had to say about joining the Oilers.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to participate in the Battle of Alberta again. Obviously, I think this was just a great fit for me, and obviously, Edmonton has a great team, right? So I just want to come in here and play my game and. Just kind of help the team whatever way possible to win, and hopefully get them over the finish line this year. I'm excited to be here, excited to be an Oiler, and excited to get things going already.
Mangiapane, a longtime Flame with the Washington Capitals last season, so firsthand got to witness Alexander Ovechkin going after the all-time goals record.
It was a really cool season. So surreal, right? Ovi's a great guy as well, which makes it even better, right? I think me going there might have been a little, shy, nervous to kind of meet him, right? He's been around for so long, and like you said, he's breaking all these records, right? So he was genuinely a great guy, and being a part of his chase and being a part of that team was a really cool experience, right? Every time the team was on the road, it felt like a home game in half the arenas, right? Everybody was chanting and cheering for him, right? So it was really cool to be able to play with him, and he's just an awesome guy and an awesome goal scorer.
All right, and we'll have more cuts from Mangiapane throughout the afternoon, more from Stan Bowman when we get to the Oil Understood. Okay, we've reconnected with goaltender Matt Tomkins, who a couple days ago, 2-year, 2-way contract with the Edmonton Oilers. Matt, it's Reid Wilkins. How are you doing?
Hey, Reid, I'm doing good, thanks. How are you?
Doing very good. Thanks for your patience there. We just had to reset up that connection. Well, first, I'll start generally. First question you usually ask a new guy. How are you feeling about the contract here with the Oilers organization?
Really excited. It's been an amazing couple days seeing the support come in and being able to get it done and sign with a team I grew up watching and cheered for my whole life. It's pretty amazing. So really, really happy that everything worked out.
Okay. Well, when I saw you were signed, I immediately thought I got to try to get Matt on the show. I did not see you play in the Alberta Junior Hockey League because I'd already moved on from Lloydminster by the time you were there, but I got a soft spot for anybody with AJL experience, and I do want to get there. Nice. But you mentioned growing up cheering for the Oilers. You were born in Edmonton, in 1994, so you just recently turned 31, actually. Tell us about your minor hockey, your athletic club, all that stuff you probably want to plug here and be proud of.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm from Sherwood Park and grew up playing for Sherwood Park Kings Club my whole life, and I was lucky enough to stay local again in juniors. Got to play for the Sherwood Park Crusaders before heading off to college. So my entire minor hockey and junior hockey was 5 minutes down the road. So really, really special to have it come full circle here now and be back with Edmonton and back playing at home too. So it's amazing.
All right. So memories for you watching the team, obviously. When you were a pretty little guy, you would have seen a lot of losses to Dallas, but a pretty good age in 2006. I mean, you would have been 11 and turned 12 during the Stanley Cup final. What do you remember about watching the Oilers as a kid, and were there some players that you liked or really looked up to?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously followed my entire life and was very fortunate to have season tickets as a family growing up. So I went to a ton of games and actually, coincidentally enough, the Stanley Cup run they had in 2006 was able to go to a lot of those games too. So I saw it firsthand, and like you said, would have been 11 or 12 there. And those are some of my most vivid memories hockey-wise growing up. So really, really cool experience with, being able to watch the others growing up, and ton of players have gone through there and really good goalies. So cool to, like I said, have it come full circle now and be able to sign with the hometown team after watching them my whole life. Okay, and then I mentioned you played with the Sherwood Park Crusaders, or the Crew as they're sometimes called. See, I know all the lingo from the AJ right. Still, Matt. Tell us about the teams you were on with Sherwood Park, and then I guess to kind of make the second part of that question, how that developed into the opportunity with Ohio State. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you're familiar with, Sherwood Park and it being known for producing a lot of really high quality hockey players. So I was really fortunate that, had a very competitive high level of hockey growing up that was, right in my backyard. So had a lot of really good opportunity, played with a ton of good players growing up, and was able to, have a lot of really good development with the Kings Club. And then, with the Crusaders, again, like being able to stay home and play in a competitive league and, get to play with a lot of great players in the AJ there, and really opened up a lot of doors for me that turned out to be really good opportunities. And my first year playing Junior A was, kind of a really pivotal year for me, where I was able to get on, a lot of radars for college and then the NHL, and I was able to get drafted to Chicago out of the AJ with the Crew. So
a lot of momentum kind of started happening around that time, and then really worked out well being able to go to Ohio State and kind of start my career.
All right, so you played at Ohio State. I guess I got to ask you this. You've probably been asked this dozens of times, but how did it compare being a hockey player at Ohio State compared to the attention you saw the football team getting?
Yeah, that's a pretty high bar to set. Pretty hard to compete there. So, I mean, such a great sports organization that they had there all around. Of course, football is king there, and that's the most important thing in the city. So, really, really cool to see the program that they had. The football support is just second to none, and cool to have that experience watching those games and seeing how it all works. But college hockey is just a really cool thing for guys to go through, and a really great experience. So I was really fortunate to have a great program at Ohio State, and Columbus is an amazing city too. So really enjoyed my 4 years there.
So I'm wondering how it was different for you, because I mean the AJHL teams are playing 60 or more games plus playoffs, and I think your years with the Crusaders, you were up over 40 games. I think 1 year over 50, including playoffs. And then like the NCAA is different, right? Because it's kind of a weekend league. I think there's probably a lot of practice time. How was it different, sort of the playing and practice load from the AJ to the Big Ten?
Yeah, it was really different. There's a lot of pros and cons. I can really see both sides when you guys start to make that argument of college versus major junior. It is tough, like especially as a goalie. There was two of us, and we're kind of just splitting time, and then 35 games doesn't amount to much when you're playing half. So it's tough when you kind of feel like you're constantly waiting to play. But in the meantime, it is also good to have a lot of practice time, a lot of time in the gym during those really critical years of development. So definitely cases to be made for both sides, but it is kind of tough taking a step back games wise when you're coming from junior A or major junior and playing a ton of games, almost having like a pro schedule to an extent. And then you play 30 some odd games or an entire season. And then to try and jump back into pro after was a little bit of a learning curve on both sides.
Matt Tomkins joining us this afternoon on the Reid Wilkins Show. He is a new goaltender with the Edmonton Oilers, 2-year, two-way contract he signed in free agency. Well, I guess that was yesterday. I was saying it seems like a couple of days ago, but it was just yesterday.
Yeah.
So you had a pretty unique experience because you got to be in the Olympics, and I feel a little bad for you and a lot of the guys in 2022 because a lot of fans just say, well, yeah, McDavid and Crosby and McKinnon and McCarr didn't get to go. But I mean, heck, you were on the Olympic team, and you got to play in games in Beijing. I know you guys didn't go quite as deep into the tournament as you would have liked, but man, oh man, what did you take out of getting to be an Olympian?
It was just an incredible experience, start to finish. It was pretty quick the way things came together once we learned that the NHL wasn't going to be participating, and then they had to pivot pretty quick and put together a short list of guys that might be eligible. And just so happened that was my first year I was playing over in Europe. So to be considered in the first place was an honor in itself. And then as things kind of wound down and eventually got the call to represent Canada, that was just an incredible moment for me and my family. And to have the opportunity to wear the maple leaf is something you never turn down, especially on the Olympic stage. So that's one of the coolest experiences I've had to date hockey-wise, and something that I'll remember forever. It was, different circumstances with COVID and all the rules, and especially, in China, and a lot of hurdles that kind of had to be jumped over to make it happen in the first place. But when it was all said and done, you get to say, you're an Olympian, and that's something that'll be always looked on with really great memories.
Did you I don't know what the Athletes Village was like or where you stayed. Like, was there time to go to other events, or were you probably playing every second day? What was that like?
Yeah, we had the chance to go to a couple events. It didn't really work out so favorably with the schedule that we had, and it was kind of tough to get on the ice and shuttling around the city and kind of all the rules that they had in place to begin with. So guys were only able to go to a couple, especially with the way that hockey's so spread out over the 2 weeks that you're there. But definitely a lot of restrictions that kind of set it back from getting that full Olympic experience. But I mean, the position we were in to be there in the first place, it was a little tough. Beggars can't be choosers with that. So we were happy to just be there and be able to represent our country in the first place. So amazing experience overall.
Well, and look, you've had an amazing journey. The keys for you, and look, you obviously have played in the NHL, but like you said, you've gone to Europe. You spent a couple seasons in the American Hockey League as well. Just for you to, I don't know if grind it out is a term that you like or whatever, because I'm sure you love what you're doing, but just what it's been like for you. Maybe you're kind of a year-to-year guy. You do get 2 years from the Oilers. Just that passion that keeps you going, whether it's the NHL or Sweden or Syracuse.
Yeah, it's been quite the journey. It's pretty fun to reflect back at all the stops I've had along the way, and kind of a different route to the NHL than most guys take. And every step has been special in its own way. And being over in Europe was something I really enjoyed. But when I had the opportunity to come back with Tampa and have the chance of fulfilling a lifelong dream of playing in the NHL and checking that box, so to speak, was something I couldn't turn down, and obviously worked out really well and was able to accomplish that goal, and kind of just re-sparked my love for the game in a way, and has really motivated me a lot more over the past few years, and really just, made me more hungry than ever to want to keep doing that. It's the coolest thing in the world to be able to play in the NHL, and it's something I think about every day and hope I get the chance to do again. And especially now with the opportunity with the Oilers and being able to have the chance to put on that jersey for a team that I watched growing up is just an amazing opportunity that I can't wait to get started with.
Yeah. Well, and how do you approach going into camp? I mean, like, who knows if there still might be changes, but obviously Skinner and Pickard are here. Like, how does it work and I guess you've been there, you've been teammates with guys you're also competing against. So how do you sort of approach camp and the opportunity with the Oilers organization?
Yeah, I think it's one thing that kind of works in my favor is I've experienced being in all sorts of different situations, and a lot of situations I've gone through that I can draw on from the past. And for me, coming into camp, it's just putting my best foot forward, being as ready as I can to help the team in whatever way possible. And whether that's up or down or in the first year, second year, my job is to just be ready whenever an opportunity comes and do anything I can, small or big, to help the team win. So that's most important for me, is just being ready and staying as prepared as I can. So I'm just, opportunity comes in a lot of different forms, and we'll see what happens over the next couple of years. But no matter what ends up working out, I'll be ready for it.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you one more, and thanks for being so generous with your time. But like I said, I love the AJHL success stories. People are obviously Googling you on the fly here during the interview. Couple people want to know about your goalie mask, if you know what it's going to be. And did you at one point have a mushroom cloud on your goalie mask?
A mushroom cloud? I've not had that.
Okay.
So I don't know where that one comes from, but I'm in the process right now of working on a design for next year. So I don't have anything to report back just yet, but I usually go for the less is more approach with my masks. Usually get something nice and bold on both sides, and then some small details throughout. So
okay, you know what it was? I think that's an idea. Somebody has already given you the nickname Atomic Tomkins.
Oh,
so that's what they're doing.
Okay.
I thought somebody was saying you had that on your mask. Okay, so you're working on something cool then.
I'd have to see a sketch for that. Maybe it's something I can put to use.
Okay. Are you back in Sherwood Park or Edmonton right now, training and stuff?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm back home now, so I've been here for about a month and a half now, so it's been good to be home.
Okay. Well, thanks for being so generous with your time and telling your story, because it is an incredible one. I'm sure I'll see you at training camp in the fall. All the best with this opportunity. Thank you for coming on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me. I really, really appreciate it, and we'll see you soon.
Right on. That is Matt Tomkins checking in, kind of going over his career, his journey from Sherwood Park, being an Oilers fan, to the AJHL, to Ohio State, to the minors, to Europe, to an opportunity in the Olympics. So kind of covering as many bases as he could there in about 15 or 20 minutes. So a good story. Like I said, 2-year, 2-way contract. He kind of said it. He doesn't know if he's going to be up or down, but he's been in a bunch of different situations with a bunch of different goaltenders over the years. So he knows the drill, but he seems pretty energized to have an opportunity with the Oilers organization. So that was Matt Tomkins checking in this afternoon on the Reid Wilkins Show on Edmonton Sports Talk, presented by Play Alberta. Play Alberta, your home for online gaming excitement, featuring casino games, live dealer action, lottery, instance, and sports betting. Now with the new Play Alberta app, you can take the fun with you anywhere. Download the app or sign up today at playalberta.ca. We have more comments from Stan Bowman and from Andrew Mangiapane. They both had Zoom availabilities this morning, so I want to dive a little deeper into those. Curtis Lazar, back in Edmonton. He was an Oil King. Now he's signed with the Oilers. He's going to join us at around 5 o'clock. A lot to get to. Here comes the Coob with the sports update.
Curtis Lazar is now an Oiler, signing in Edmonton at league minimum on a one-year deal. The former Oil King had 5 points in 48 games in New Jersey last season. Around the league, Gustav Nyquist signs in Winnipeg for 1 year for over $3 million. Flames inking Morgan Frost to a two-way contract extension, nearly $4.5 million per season. P.S. Suter joins the Blues for 2 years at just over $4 million a season, while the Islanders land 24-year-old KHLer Maxim Shabanov on a one-year entry-level contract. Shabanov had 67 points in 64 KHL games last season. CFL News sees the Elks signing defensive lineman Tyreek Johnson to their practice squad. Elsewhere, Cooper Flagg has signed his 4-year rookie deal with the Mavericks, worth nearly $63 million total. Staying out east, the Jays battle the Yankees just after 5. Toronto naming Jose Barrios their starter, while at home the Riverhawks meet the lefties. EST's audio streams having full coverage of the game with first pitch at 7:05. This sports update is brought to you by Clover Bar Feeds. Clover Bar Feeds has all the animal feed you'll need. Get top-notch service and selection from their family-owned business. Visit Clover Bar Feeds at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park, or call them at 780-467-5014. The show continues after a brief intermission. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
Jamie McLennan.
Mangiapane can kill penalties. Younger, faster. He is a pest, so he is hard to play against. He's a smart player. That's one of the things when you need to continue to add to this group in Edmonton is you need high IQ players. Players who can think the game, who can adapt to their environment. And that's what Mangiapane is.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric, presented by South Fort Chevrolet. Weekday mornings 6 to 9. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
River Cree Resort and Casino on K97 proudly present Steve Earle and Reckless Kelly. Featuring small band and acoustic performances, Steve Earle and Reckless Kelly in the venue July 25th. Tickets at rivercreekresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Kayaks, bikes, camping gear? Make space for summer fun with Sentinel Storage. Spend more time on adventures with your outdoor gear and less time looking for them. Sentinel Storage. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca.
How's it going? 424. What is it? Wednesday, July 2nd? July 2nd? S-E-C-I-N-T.
Is today officially the halfway point of the year?
Today's the halfway point of the year, baby.
Wow.
Today's the halfway point of the year. 2025 is half done. What does that mean? Nothing. It's useless trivia. Much like most of this show. You know what else you can do?
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
All right. If you're taking us in on YouTube, click that thumbs up. If you already have, thank you. Share the show link with others. Let's all get involved in this great Edmonton Sports Talk community. Nasty chat off and running. A lot of discussion going on in there. You can text us 780-218-9999. The afternoon inbox presented by River Crew Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant. All you can eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every Friday from 4 to 10 p.m. So I think you have a limerick or two to read, Coob. People send limericks into the show. If you're new to the show, we started a thing and listeners send in limericks, and we usually read them, even if they're terrible. But we give advice on how to improve your limerick writing.
Right.
And our off-topic topic for William Huff, tips to stay cool at night when you don't have air conditioning. And if your answer is just go buy air conditioning, that's not what we're looking for. Some people might live in a home or an apartment where they can't install air conditioning.
Yeah, well, I actually
can't
got a
afford
portable
air
one at
conditioning.
my house.
I have a portable one that's not that useful in my current home. In my previous home, it was more useful. Anything coming in, Coob, on the River Crew Resort and Casino inbox?
Yeah, on the off-topic topic, how do you keep your house cool in the heat? Tube Sock saying, my wife forbids AC. And Chris Perper coming in saying, ice packs at the foot of the bed. So to keep your feet cool, right? When you wear tube, or on your extremities, feet or...
Yeah, because sometimes if your feet are cold, you cool down.
Yeah. No, that's a pretty good one.
That's why you dangle your feet in the lake off the wharf.
The wharf.
Not Lieutenant Worf. Captain, my feet are quite warm.
David Section T also coming in. He has no AC, but a couple tips he has to keep his bungalow cool. He opens the windows at night and uses a ceiling fan to circulate cool air. Close the windows in the daytime. Also hose down the stucco in the morning.
Stucco. S-T-U-C-C-O?
Yes.
Is that the first time you've seen the word stucco in your life?
I got stucco on that one.
You kids, read a book.
I don't read a book.
Yeah, well, you should.
I go on TikTok.
You should read a book. You can read them on your phone now. That's what I've started on my iPad.
I only read sports stuff, but I do got to get into that.
All right.
The evaporative cooling effect will lower the house temp several degrees. So that's a pretty good tip from Dave in Section T. I do have a limerick as well, but I feel like...
Oh, do the limerick.
That one. Okay.
Do the limerick.
The one and only limerick I did on air on the Reid Wilkins show. I did mess up, but here we go.
No, you didn't.
I think whatever. I got this one.
Yeah,
100%. Deflaming coming in.
Oh, wow. What an honor.
With a hot one. He usually writes pretty good ones. So, free agency, so humdrum, sign Lazar, no dumb. EST has it all. All Reid is on the ball. You must click, 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 thumb.
That's from Guy. That's pretty good.
That's from Guy.
VR Montenegro has sent this in, emailing Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. I'm back in the city and it's way too scorching hot. A decent display by Bowman given the tight spot. I know of a deal, an absolute steal. Bring back my man Derek Ryan. He won't cost you a lot. Okay. Well, probably we're not going to see Derek Ryan with the Oilers this season, but a limerick from VR Montenegro. I have a couple others in my email that I'll get to a little bit later on. Right now, I want to do the Oil Understood, presented by GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Not quite 150, for over 50 years, and now a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Understood. All right, so the Oilers headline of the day. Forward Andrew Mangiapane, 2-year contract, average annual value, $3.6 million, 5'10", about 183 pounds, 29 years of age, 81 games with the Caps last season, 14 goals, 14 assists, 28 points, 498 NHL games, played 7 seasons with Calgary, who originally drafted him 166th overall in 2015. So already a pretty good career for where he was drafted. General Manager Stan Bowman with some extended thoughts on Mangiapane.
Well, the reason we were interested in Andrew is multiple. Number one, we've been watching him for years now and like the contributions he can make in a number of different roles. Obviously, starting out with offensively, I think he's got the ability to play in our top 6. He's got experience playing right and left wing, so some flexibility there. Whether he's going to play with McDavid or Draisaitl, we could try him on both lines. Certainly, he can score goals. He's had a good success doing that in his career. I think the other thing we like about him is just his ability to extend the play, to play sort of like a give and go game. He's an active player. He's also a competitive player. You know, he's not the most fun to play against. We certainly played a lot against him when he was in Calgary. And I think you notice his ability to impact the game in a number of ways. So penalty killing as well is something that he's done, and he's been good at that. So in our conversations with him, we explained how we see him helping our team. It's really the ultimate versatile player in our top 6. So we don't know which center he'll mesh the best with, but we know it's going to be one of those two. We definitely see him playing in our top 2 lines and contributing on our special teams as well. We know he can play on the power play, so we've got flexibility there as well. So overall, I think he checks all the boxes for the type of player that is going to bring a lot to the table with our group. And I think he's a big addition to this group.
All right, so there's what Bowman likes about him. Versatile player, can play either wing, can be on special teams. There's not really a spot available on the power play. But if he can, well, anybody who can help the PK at all would be great at this point. Again, I find it hard to complain about this signing individually, or just looking at it in isolation. Again, my concern is just bigger picture. Do the Oilers have good enough forwards overall? I think Mangiapane is a decent addition. I mean, you hope he gets to, can approach 20 goals. You got 14 last year. It's obviously been tough for the forward signings. I mean, really, with the exception of Hyman, a lot of players who have been signed to play in a top 6 role haven't grabbed it and have been kind of one and done as players. I like the fact that there might be a little bit of a pest element to Mangiapane's game. So again, I don't mind this signing. Hopefully he can be pretty good. Do I expect that he's going to go off and get 25 or 30? I would doubt that. I think if he can get 15 to 20 and just play solid and be reliable, then it's probably going to be a good addition for the Oilers. The problem is I don't know who the 6th person in the top 6 is going to be. I think there are some serious questions about that. Let's get to that clip again. I asked Stan Bowman about rounding out the top 6.
I would expect that probably to come from within. We've got a number of guys that played in that role last year. Both Kapanen and Podkolzin did for stretches. I do expect Matt Savoy to be on our team and to play a role. We got David Tomasek, who's played a lot of wing as well as some center. So I think we've got a number of internal candidates that I think deserve the opportunity to show us what they can do. So I wouldn't be expecting to add any more players to play in that part of our team. I think if we're looking for anything else, it might be another body for more like the bottom 6. But I think we also have Adam Henrique, who he's mostly played center here, but I think he's someone that we could use on the wing if we wanted to try him on the top 2 lines as well. That's an option for us. Now that we have Frederick in, who can play center, I think that gives us some flexibility. And Freddie can certainly play on the wing too, on those top 2 lines. So to give it a bit of a different look. So I think we've got a lot of options. I think that's the one thing I like about this mixture is obviously we know that Nugent Hopkins and Hyman are in Mangiapane. There's 3 of the 4 wingers to play in the top 6. And the other one, we don't have just one person we're hoping can fill it. We we're going to try some different looks. And I'm sure that the way Chris likes to mix and match, I'm sure we'll get a bunch of different players get the opportunity, and then we'll find out which one is the best fit as we move forward.
All right. So I think, at least from what I'm hearing, Stan Bowman likes the options more than I do. There's probably, I mean, for it to be a really good top six, I think there's going to have to be someone who outperforms what they have done in the NHL in the past, or a relatively new NHLer who really grabs the opportunity, such as Matt Savoy or such as David Tomasek. Is that possible? Of course it's possible. I guess my thing is I haven't seen it happen, so how can I be sure that it's going to happen again? I get it. Maybe Frederick can jump up and play in the top six and be good. That's fine. That might strengthen the top six, but then are you also left with a possible hole on the third line? So there's just something at forward that doesn't quite gel for me at the moment. Could there be other changes before the season starts? Of course. Could somebody totally surprise me in the regular season? Of course. I'm just telling you what I see right now. That's all I can tell you. You may agree with me or disagree with me, which is cool, but that's how I see it at the moment. The Mangiapane addition in and of itself, I think, is a decent addition for a decent cap hit, so I'm not going to be too critical of that. But as I was talking about with Matthew yesterday, before they signed Mangiapane, they still seem a little bit short at the higher end of the forward deployment. Now, in that clip, Bowman said probably another addition to the bottom six. That clip was before Curtis Lazar was signed this afternoon, and Curtis is going to join me at the top of the hour. Glenn Gulutzan is now the head coach of the Dallas Stars, so the Oilers have lost a member of the coaching staff. So when are they going to take care of that?
That is something that we have to spend some time on now, and I haven't had the chance to focus on that over the last 2 days. We've been really full attention on the free agency being yesterday, and it was a long day to get us finally to be able to close that deal with Andrew. So starting today, that's top priority, is trying to round out our coaching staff. So I've had brief conversations with Chris about that, but we're going to spend our next few days here putting our attention to that. So I won't have anything on that in the near future, but obviously it's a priority now that we've gotten through the free agent, the beginning of the free agency. And I think we essentially have the key components to our team. So we're going to turn our attention to the coaching.
All right. So kind of a non-answer, but I wanted you to hear the clip, what he said about that. So I think that's probably the next significant announcement we'll get from the Oilers, is that they have filled out the coaching staff. We'll see if there are any other changes beyond a replacement for Gulutzan. First time Bowman was speaking publicly since the Evan Bouchard contract. Here's what he had to say about that.
Yeah, that was an important signing. We haven't talked about that yet, but Bouch had a tremendous season, a tremendous couple seasons. He's emerged as a very important player on our team. So getting him signed was critical. I guess the negotiations, an 8-year term was really never in the cards. I think for the agent indicated that wasn't something they thought made sense for them. I think it's really a function of salary cap and where that's going. We certainly know the next 3 years it's going up considerable amounts. And we do know what those numbers are. And I think we don't know where it's going beyond that, but there's a projection that it could continue to rise. And I think at that point, the players' side, from what they've been saying, is they weren't interested in a number for an 8-year deal would be so high that it wouldn't really make sense for anybody. So we certainly were hoping to do an 8-year deal, but that was never really in the cards. I think on that side, the deals get made when the two sides meet at something they're both comfortable with. So they were never interested in pursuing 8 years. So, at that point, it's not like we can force them to do it. We have to try to still get a deal done. After some back and forth, we finally got there.
All right. So interesting that Bouchard's camp didn't want to sign for 8 years. And I think we've talked about this on this show before. Maybe Matt and I talked about it yesterday. The cap is going to go up, maybe going to go way up. So maybe some players are going to see, okay, I'll sign for 4 and then see what I can get in a few years. I wonder if Connor McDavid is thinking that way with his extension. I guess we won't find out till that's signed, likely later in the summer. But those are some thoughts there from Stan Bowman on getting the Evan Bouchard deal done. Reid Wilkins coming to you from the Banquet Studio. Craving a late night snack? Check out the Banquet's new late night happy hour menu. Sunday to Thursday, 9 p.m. until close. Enjoy favorites like sweet and spicy lettuce wraps or the Banquet burger at happy hour prices. The Banquet. Get real, play hard. Okay, we'll have some more comments from Andrew Mangiapane in the next segment of the show. We're going to be joined by a new Edmonton Oiler, a former Edmonton Oil King, Curtis Lazar, at 5 o'clock. We'll talk a little hoops as well with the new head coach of the Golden Bears basketball team, Geoff Pippus. All still to come. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. We're over 100. Let's see if we can get to 155 and guarantee that double. You got words of the day ready, Coop?
I actually just got them.
Good. Oh, good. I like how you do it. You could do it ahead of time. You do it during the show. That's okay. I hope they're more pronounceable than the last day. Because Monday you even befuddled yourself.
I did.
You definitely befuddled me. I'm usually befuddled, though. I'm in a constant... That could be another book of mine. Reid Wilkins and the State of Befuddlement.
That might be the fourth or fifth
That'd be
book.
the fourth or fifth one. Yeah, the series is kind of winding down.
This one's a tier down from the other words.
Yeah, they get more repetitive and less exciting as they go along. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've already got it mapped out.
These ones are usable words, I'd say.
All right. Thanks a lot for checking out the show. Coop with a sports update. Comments from Mangiapane coming up.
Former Oil King Curtis Lazar has joined the Oilers at league minimum on a one-year deal. The 30-year-old played 48 games for the Devils last season, recording 2 goals and 5 points. Other signings has Pius Suter headed to St. Louis on a 2-year deal worth over $4 million a season. The Flames extending Morgan Frost to 2 years at $4 million per season. Gustav Nyquist going to Winnipeg for $3 million on a 1-year contract, while KHL defenseman Maxim Shabanov signs in New York on an entry-level deal with the Isles. In Elks news, they've signed American defensive back Tyreek Johnson to the practice squad. Johnson spending the last 5 seasons playing NCAA football in South Carolina. And NBA news, the Mavericks have signed first overall pick Cooper Flagg to his 4-year rookie contract worth a total of nearly $63 million total. MLB action as the Jays and Yankees rematching just after 5. Toronto's Jose Barrios takes the mound. For the Riverhawks, they play the Lefties at home in Edmonton. Action starts at 7:05. Listen to the full game on any of EST's audio streams. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc. Locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding areas since '93. They have doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, they have plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff today at Windsor Plywood Leduc. More comments from Andrew Mangiapane and much more on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
The EST Hangout.
No, because he's a harder player to play against. His usage was less than ever in Washington. So you get a player that comes in and he may be a little bit smaller. Like I think he's 5'10", 5'11", but he plays with some bite and he has the ability to score. And you need players like that, especially if you want to continue, in the playoffs. And the team that's the team to beat is that.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Summer in Edmonton means 3 things: warm weather, long nights, and plenty of sports. From the lake to the links, you can boost your summer fun with hundreds of casino games, live betting on your favorite sports teams, and access to popular lotteries. All in one app, anywhere in the province. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code YAG50 to claim a $50 free bet. That's promo code YAG50 for a $50 free bet on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Grab your hard hat and huddle up. Your Edmonton Elks face the Ottawa Red Blacks this Sunday. It's the first ever hard hat huddle game, featuring excavators and diggers in the tailgate and construction-themed in-game contests. Plus, Purolator Tackle Hunger is collecting non-perishable food items and monetary donations at the game, with all proceeds to Edmonton's food bank. Elks Hard Hat Huddle, presented by Purolator Tackle Hunger, 5 p.m. Sunday. Tickets start at just $20. Score yours now at goelks.com.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
Kayaks, bikes, camping gear? Make space for summer fun with Sentinel Storage. Spend more time on adventures with your outdoor gear and less time looking for them. Sentinel Storage. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca.
Must you click? Click. Thumb. Must you click?
All right, that is the Thumb Click remix. It's put together by Zachary Kubish. If you're on YouTube, you haven't clicked the thumbs up button, please do so. We're over 100. Let's see if we can get to 155 here. No Jason Milne this week. Reid Wilkins with you. Zachary Kubish doing all the technical work, reading your sports update. Now, you have brought up a good point, Koob, that I have been technically incorrect for most of the show. So the NHL now, I got to learn not to have so many tabs open on my computer. How have I been saying the name of the new player? Mangiapane? That's incorrect. Mangiapane.
Yeah, it's Mangiapane.
Well, you don't. Yeah, you're overpronouncing it now.
Right.
Mangiapane.
Mangiapane.
I think I've been saying Pane, which is technically based on the NHL pronunciation guide. Mangiapane.
Tomato.
Well, no, you got to do it right.
Right.
There's one thing. Because sometimes you have a player who comes from another country or just maybe a name you're not sure. And hockey players are generally very modest. So sometimes you ask a player, how do you say your name? Or what's the correct pronunciation of your name? Or how do you say it in your country? And they'll say, just say it however you want. It's like, well, I don't want to say it however I want. I want to say it correctly or as close to correctly as possible. But would you remember Stan, what was it, Netzcash? And his last name was spelled Necar.
Necar.
So it looked like Neckar or Necker.
I actually didn't.
And I believe it was I think it was Netzcash was how it was pronounced. People, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, it's like Natchez. Like there's a few odd names out there.
Yeah, some letters are pronounced differently than they are in English. But so Mangiapane. Yeah. I got to get used to saying it. It's not Mangiapane. Mangiapane. Yes, perhaps he makes everybody cheer like that at Rogers Place, Coop. Very good.
Perhaps he will.
All right. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. That's how you can text us. You can email Reid at edmontonsportstalk.com. Let's do a couple limericks. Bronco Nick always sends one in. Oilers went bargain hunting yesterday, called Mangiapane, and said, sure, I'll play. Some are unhappy, thinking choice was crappy. Remember, trade deadline is a long time away. Bronco Nick. And Tube Socks sending in a non-limerick limerick. I hoped to submit one today, but my limerick ran clean away. With nothing to show, I must sadly forego. No poem, just silence, I'm afraid. Wow, self-referential or what? He's getting all meta on us. Meta socks. That's what we're going to have to call him. Tube meta.
It's quite meta.
Yeah. All right. Yes, Matt Hyman, putting the pronunciation in. That's what I double-checked. Mangiapane. E, not nay at the end. You got to be better at that. Got to say it correctly.
Nay, Reid, nay.
Nay on the nay. That's how I'll remember. Nay on the nay. Ixnay on the nay.
And then you'll get the name.
What was the one where Homer had some like kind of grammatical issues and then he said something inappropriate and somebody was like, Homer, ixnay on that. And he was like, but I failed Latin too. Anyway, oh my goodness.
Sounds like Homer. I remember that episode though.
Well, as you should.
Ixnay.
It's an excellent series. All right, let's dive into buying or selling. It's presented by Damon Bunting, a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, Instagram handle of Damon Bunting Real Estate. So, buying or selling is Mangiapane. Now I'm overthinking it. Is Andrew Mangiapane a solution for the Oilers in the top 6? I think it's a good signing. We'll see if he can actually be a winger for Connor McDavid and or Leon Draisaitl.
I could definitely see that. I think I'm for sure capable. I think last year was a little bit of a down year for me, but I think I could get right back to where I've been and what I can do, right? I think a lot of you guys have seen it in the fans and everyone that saw me playing in Calgary and know what I'm capable of. So I'm just excited to, hopefully be given an opportunity. Obviously, there's a lot of good players on this team. So I think me just looking at the roster, I could hopefully play with anyone and going up and down. And I think could be good fits wherever a coach decides to put me.
All right. So most of his career with the Calgary Flames, I mean, once he became a full-time NHLer, basically a guy who gets in the mid to high teens for goals. Now, the 1 year he got to 18 was the 56-game season. So, you could say he would have got 25 to 30 if it were the full season. Excellent year in 21-22 for the Flames. He had 35 goals and 55 points in 82 games. Then he had 17, then 14, and then 14 last year with the Capitals. That's why I'm projecting him for 15 with the Oilers. Maybe he can do a little bit better than that. But a lot of us remember him playing for the Calgary Flames, and he was asked today about the journey and the improvement since his early days as a Calgary Flame.
In the Calgary games, you're kind of just in the Calgary days, you're just kind of maybe a little immature and you're still trying to, figure out your kind of role and everything like that. But that's always kind of been a part of my game, though, is kind of being, tenacious, hardworking, forechecking, and trying to get in there and just start things, right? Started like hit guys on the forecheck, start maybe some scrums and just get involved in the game that way. I think that really helps out my game is just being more involved, and that's including being on the power play, being on the PK, wanting to be out there last minute of the game and just kind of being put out there in all situations. And I feel like that's where I thrive. And that's kind of what I feel like I've learned over the years is trying to, be on that line of, obviously not drop or not take any penalties and all that, but, aggravate guys and get under their skin and be a pest and be annoying to play against, right? I think that's what kind of makes me successful. And, I'm happy to be back in Alberta and hopefully be given the opportunity to play in kind of all situations here.
Now, I'll tell you what, and I don't know if the Oilers have enough of this, and we'll see if Mangiapane can execute it, but I like that he's saying that he wants to be a pest, and I like that he's saying, I want to be difficult to play against. If he can play with McDavid or Draisaitl or whoever along the course of the season and he can score, awesome. Of course, you have to have goals to win, but I like that when he talks about who he can be this season and how he's improved since he broke into the league with Calgary. He's talking about playing with a little bit of edge, I guess, with a little bit of Brad Marchand, so to speak. I don't think he'll be quite that pesky, but if he can be difficult to play against and be a pest and score, that's something the Oilers need. Do they have enough of it? I'm not sure they'll do. I guess we'll see what Frederick and maybe some other people can provide. But I like that he's not just saying, I got to go out there and score and be on the power play and I have offense and I scored 35 goals once and I'm going to get back there again. I like that he's saying that he can be difficult to play against. I like that he's basically saying, I can agitate. I think that that's still an important part of the game. Not necessarily about fighting per se, but the gamesmanship that we talk about. And the Oilers lost that with Perry. They lost that with Kane moving on. So they're going to need somebody to step in and do that sort of thing. A little bit more from him on joining a team that's been a cup contender for a couple of years and also about the scrutiny that you can face playing in a Canadian market.
But I think it's obviously exciting, right? It's an exciting time to, be an Oiler and be playing in the Canadian market. Obviously, that comes with the pressure from the fans and everything like that. And I don't think you can block it out, if I'm being honest, right? I'm a guy that watches TV, watches hockey. I'm on all the apps and everything like that. I guess I could delete those, but it's interesting to me, I'd say, to say the least, right? So I don't really block it out too much. I just try to not let it, change the way I need to play, right? You're going to have ups and downs in a season as a team, and personally, you're going to be up and down in a season, right? So you just got to not get too high, not get too low, and just, again, keep doing what makes you successful and keep doing what the team wants you to do so that they have success, right? And really just try to block out almost the media and, just worry about yourself, because that's all you can do.
All right, and a little bit more from Mangiapane on that opportunity to maybe be a winger for McDavid or Draisaitl.
I mean, like you said, I don't think it's easy for anyone, but I think you just got to, for me, I think you just got to go out there and play your game, right? And I'm sure that's what they want me to do as well. And I'm sure that, they want the puck as much as they can. But I think for me, you just got to go in there and play your game. And when the pass is there, make the pass. When the shot is there, shoot the puck, right? You can't overcomplicate it, and you can't put them in tough spots, even though that they can handle it and everything like that. Obviously, we've seen that over the years. But you just want to, help them out and, take some of the load yourself, and that'll help them, right? And then hopefully, with time, we just keep building chemistry, through practice, through games, and hopefully, we keep growing our chemistry, and then we start clicking and everything like that, right? So I think for me, it's just going out there and just being myself and do what makes me successful.
All right, so that's some comments there from Andrew Mangiapane. Did a Zoom call this morning while sitting in his car. Pretty good comments. I thought he was thoughtful, energetic with his interview this morning, which was good to see. Again, definitely an opportunity for him here with the Oilers. I do think he's going to be a noticeable player, which is perhaps important. Well, not perhaps, it is important. I'm not sure how many goals he's going to score, but again, if he can get 15 to 20, I think it'll be pretty good. If he gets more than that, then I think that's a thrilling signing for the Edmonton Oilers. Okay, we're coming up to the 5 o'clock break. Another new guy, but not new to the city. Curtis Lazar is going to check in.
Two guys and a goalie.
One that stood out for me as well is, I'll just say, this pisses me off. Establishment of a full-time emergency backup goalie, or EBUG, position within organizations. And the reason it ticks me off is because I love the story. I love the story of the Golden Bear player coming up with the green and gold pads on and the green and gold helmet sitting on the
Two
bench.
guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Win a trip to Osheaga with the Banquet and Aperol. We're sending one lucky guest to Montreal with flights, hotel, and 2 tickets to one of Canada's hottest music festivals. Enter by July 26. Details in store or on the Banquet app. Get real. Play hard.
You know Dawn. Everyone knows Dawn. Dawn from
Frontier Cartage. That's right, it's me, Dawn from Frontier Cartage, where we're setting the standard for cartage service in Edmonton and beyond, offering city cartage, Alberta Highway, short haul deck, and more. My team and I are bringing our years of industry experience and expertise to every mile.
Join Dawn and her boys in a new chapter in transportation excellence, dedicated to exceptional service. Call Dawn at Frontier Cartage, 587-222-5826.
At Mind 360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind 360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind 360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
.30-year-old Curtis Lazar has signed with the Oilers on a one-year deal at league minimum. The former Oil King had 5 points in 48 games with the Devils last season, and tons of other signings around the league. Morgan Frost re-upping with the Flames for 2 years at $4.5 million this season. Gustav Nyquist headed to Winnipeg on a one-year deal at $3 million, and Pius Suter going to St. Louis on a 2-year contract worth $4 million average salary. Islanders also signing KHL defenseman 24-year-old Maxim Shabanov to a one-year entry-level contract. In the association, Cooper Flagg, first overall pick to the Mavs, signed his 4-year rookie contract. While in baseball, it's the Jays and Yankees just about to get underway. Jose Barrios gets the ball for Toronto, and 3 games are live right now, including Padres and Phillies locked at zeros in the 4th during the back end of their doubleheader. Back in Edmonton, the Riverhawks play the Lefties just after 7. Listen to the full game on any of EST's audio streams. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The third and final hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
All right, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. Hope you're staying cool. Could get a thunderstorm rolling through, I guess, eh? Usually when it's this hot. What's it saying now on the old Weather Canada app? Wow, it says it's 32. Feels like 35. What are we at? Risk of a severe thunderstorm sitting at about 40% really until about midnight. The blinds are closed here. I can't see what it's like outside. But hopefully you're enjoying the heat. Hopefully, if you like air conditioning and need it, you have it. So that's good. You can get in touch, 780-218-9999. That's how you text the afternoon inbox. Presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant. All-you-can-eat prime rib buffet for just $49.99 every Sunday from 4 to 10 p.m. You can email Reid at edmontonsportstalk.com. If you're on the YouTube stream, you can jump into the nasty chat there and chat with other audience members to the program. Click that thumbs up button as well if you haven't already. My, oh my, isn't it interesting how things work out? He usually joins my show in the off season. This is the first time he's doing it as a member of the Edmonton Oilers, newly signed to a one-year contract. It is Curtis Lazar checking in. Curtis, it's Reid. How are you doing?
Reid, I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Pretty interesting news that broke this morning. Like, how does that sound? Curtis Lazar of the Edmonton Oilers, first of all.
You know, it honestly hasn't really sunk in yet. You know, things move pretty fast. Super excited with the opportunity. Edmonton was near kind of the top of my list in regards to opportunity and spots that I think I'd be successful in a team that could help. But what kind of got me is already walking around the grocery store today. I realized I'm back to playing hockey in Canada, as I got stopped like 3 or 4 times and people just shaking my hands and telling me congrats, because I'm just there to pick up some eggs. But it feels great. I'm on cloud 9 to be an Edmonton Oiler.
No, where are you, back in BC, or where are you right now?
Yes, I'm back in Kelowna, BC. So I'll be spending the summer out here, and we'll get situated in Edmonton in no time.
So this process for you, and I know you've been through it before with free agency, and quite frankly, you've been through it with trades. Are you better equipped for it as you get into this stage of your career, or is it still stressful? What's going to happen? Where am I going to wind up? Like, tell me about the mindset of a pro athlete here.
Yeah, I mean, my situation is a little different than some of the guys with more security. You never know. That's what it comes down to. And I think for myself, just going through free agency this time around, had a very, tough season last year. Didn't really have much to hang my hat on. Health-wise, it just wasn't there. I didn't use that as an excuse. I still play, which kind of opened me up to some criticism and some poor numbers. But I just wanted to play and try and help out the Devils the best I could. But I knew this was going to come, a chance to get a new start somewhere else. And it was just a matter of finding the right fit. And I'm glad that we were able to find common ground with the Oilers because I'm healthy now. I'm moving better than ever. And I'm really excited to get back to myself this next year.
Okay, so what was it? A knee procedure or surgery? What I know athletes don't like to talk about injuries, but what can you tell us about what you went through last year?
Yeah, it was a small surgery on my knee, but everything's healed up on my knee. But the hard part about it was the hardware that they put in my knee. They just didn't react well with my body. They were supposed to dissolve. That wasn't the case. My bones started to push them out, which led to kind of stiffness, soreness, inflammation, you name it, from a day-to-day standpoint all throughout the season. You double that with trying to play a hockey game at the highest level. Just it wasn't a good mix. So again, I try to keep that quiet and just, if I'm able to skate, I'm going to do it. It just wasn't that effective. So like I said, I put myself in harm's way a little bit down the stretch. I kind of just had nothing left in the tank, but I've used that as motivation, a chance to heal myself. The anchors are all gone in my knee. And like I said, I feel great. I'm moving well in the gym. I'm skating really hard and I'm kind of moving better than ever. So I got a lot to play for, and I'm very excited to help the Oilers out in any way I can.
So what, hockey's so weird. Well, the NHL's so weird, Curtis, because the Oilers and Panthers play until the 3rd or 4th week of June, and teams that were out in the first round or missed the playoffs have already been off for almost 2 months. So and especially coming back from a surgery like you were, what was your sort of rhythm to take a break and then get working out and skating again? Or did you even take a break at all? What have the last 2.5 months been like?
Yeah, it was actually kind of interesting, as I thought once the season ended, everything would settle in my body. But I was walking around Home Depot one day, and I honestly couldn't walk. I was over at one of my teammates' pools in New Jersey, and they're just like, dude, you got to get that looked at. The way the lack, I guess, of movement that I had. So right before coming back, I got another procedure done just to take out that hardware. And then my wife and I, just to kind of decompress and clear our minds, she loaded up the boys, I loaded up the dogs, and we took the old 9-day road trip across the country, took the scenic route, drove from New Jersey back to Kelowna, made some memories along the way. And then to get back, it was I was itching, ready to go. And my body's felt great.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. I got to ask you about the road trip. I know it's a family thing, so I don't want to pry too much, but did you go through the States, through Canada? What did you see that was really cool?
Yeah, I mean, we've done the cross-country trip, without kids a couple times. Usually just kind of go through North Dakota, Montana, all that. Now with the boys, a little bit more of a scenic route. Went through South Dakota. We stopped and did Mount Rushmore, did some camping underneath the mountain, made our way over to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, where we spent a couple days. Just fun stuff like that. So we tried to take advantage of it. A couple long days in there. The kids got a little bit fussy, but we look back on it and we're glad we did it. So we came back here surrounded by family and friends again. And so also just kind of my training regime as well, my trainers and the group we have in Kelowna. It's been awesome.
Okay, Curtis Lazar, newly signed by the Edmonton Oilers, joining us this afternoon on the Reid Wilkins Show. So look, you come in here with an opportunity. Do you think, okay, where am I going to fit in? Who am I competing with for spots? Does your mind go there yet? Or are you just, I got to be the best Curtis that I can be when I get here in September?
It's a bit of both. I am what I am. I've stuck around this league for quite a few years now. I'm not a spring chicken anymore, but I'm that bottom six presence that's gonna, take faceoffs, kill penalties, be hard to play against, kind of that honest north-south style. And I think there's an opportunity there. There's no, I guess, really right-handed centerman on the roster. So that kind of, I take some pride in that. It's going to lead some opportunity. As I talked to Coach and Stan about today as well, as kind of my versatility. I'm comfortable on the left and right wing. You can kind of move me around all over the place. So I'm just going to do whatever it takes to win. I'm going to do whatever the team needs, play them in any position it is. And I'm just excited to contribute. It's a great team that is trying to get over that hump, and I just want to be a part of that.
All right. Back in Edmonton, I mean, and I mentioned, and look, it's no secret. You and I have known each other since you were 16 or 17. You've always been a great interview and always willing to come on my show. Have you thought about getting back into the groove of being in Edmonton? Like, I don't know if you're already thinking about neighborhoods to get a house or an apartment or whatever, or just being back in this city. What do you think?
Yeah, it's kind of like you said, that full circle moment, because I was thinking, the first time I came to Edmonton, I was a teenager starting out my hockey career, kind of not knowing what the future had in store. I was just by myself, living with my billet families, who I can't wait to reconnect with. And now I'm coming back with a wife and 2 kids and 2 dogs. Like you said, trying to check out neighborhoods. I've been in touch with Connor today. Again, haven't spoken much to him really since our World Junior days when we were roommates. So kind of picking his brain a bit and get the lay of the land again, because I'm sure Edmonton has changed. Obviously, I've been there as a visitor a few times throughout the season, but we're looking forward to calling it home, and also for myself to show my family what it's all about, because I really enjoyed my time there previously.
Yeah, because you never played as an Oil King in the new building, right? Only as a visiting NHL player, I believe.
That's right. Yeah. Rexall was home, and kind of also those flashbacks, thinking about my times in that building, watching the Oilers. And I think the one that stands out to me was probably Ryan Smith's last game. I was up there in the catwalk watching Ryan Smith say his goodbyes with, the Oilers sweater on and that C on his chest. It's pretty cool to think that that's the organization that I'm going to be playing for. And again, I couldn't be happier.
Do you know what number you're going to wear yet?
I actually got to wait for my son here and kind of see what he wants.
Oh, nice. That's really cool.
Yeah, he's all in on it. It's funny because previously it's either been 27, 20, and then I threw the curveball at 42 in New Jersey. So we got Kulak and Kapanen got the 2 taken. I think 20 is still up for grabs. So I don't know. That's probably the safe pick. If the Vegas odds are going, that might be the way we're going. But I got to talk to Langer tomorrow about that. And who knows, maybe my son's going to throw a curveball at everyone. So I'll keep you posted on that.
Okay, that's fun. I'm glad that the kid is involved in that as well. I mean, look, like basically a little over a decade for you now in the NHL. I just think, and look, of course, toughness and intimidation and gamesmanship, all those types of things are still important. But man, oh man, the tempo of this sport, I just think continues to pick up, and 3-on-3 overtime just continues to entertain fans. You're on the ice. Can you give everybody a little bit of perspective of how fast it is in the NHL right now?
Oh, it's been absolutely insane. I even think like back when I broke in I guess what year was that? 2015. It was all about, just kind of the size and the strength. And talked about the gauntlet of the NHL and just how the game is now transformed. You mentioned it with overtime going from 4-on-4 to 3-on-3, and just kind of the emphasis on the speed and the skill. It's crazy. Some of the stuff these kids can do with the puck, it's remarkable, but it's great for kind of, I guess I can call myself an older guy now, because it keeps us on our toes too. You got to be innovative in the way you train, the way you practice, and what ultimately it translates to the way you play, because you got to find a way to be effective, and get open on the ice and whatnot. So it's been great. And I think you see that even in the NHL, the ratings and the entertainment value that the game brings, because these athletes, they're incredible. I wish I had half the talent that some of these guys have, but I'm going to keep my old school way and the meat and potatoes hockey that I just keep chugging along and try and be effective as much as I can.
Yeah, well, you've always known who you are as a player for sure. And look, I got to ask you this because I think it is relevant in this market and where this team is at. They got 2 great players. They've been to 2 cup finals. I mean, I've hosted a talk show through 12 seasons now, so I interact with a lot of audience members. And you were on an Oil King team that got a lot of scrutiny because the expectations were high for those teams. And I remember even one day I asked you something on my show and you saw me at the rink the next day. But you're always fun with me, but you were kind of like seriously, that was your question, Reid? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for the scrutiny? Are you ready for guys like me saying, why hasn't Lazar done this? Or are you able to, I kind of asked Mangiapane the same question. Or are you able to ignore it all and keep your focus on the ice in the dressing room?
Yeah, that just comes with the territory and playing in good fan bases. Especially too, it's easy to kind of deflect that on the bottom 6 guys. They're not producing, they're not doing this or that. I've played in Ottawa, Calgary, Vancouver. playing in Canada is a different beast. I'm well versed in it, and let's just say I've gotten a full dose of it already today, and I haven't even been looking or trying to look at any of it. But I'm kind of, who's this bum? What kind of numbers having 5 points last year and stuff? And you can't help but laugh, right? There's a reason why I'm in here, and the team's got trust in me and to do a job, and I'm looking forward to making the fans fall in love with me, just in my effort, my play, and also just, proving a lot of people wrong, knowing that last year, the injury-riddled season I have was a fluke and that I'm an effective player in this game.
Right on. Well, some people in our chat are enjoying the fact that your son may be involved in picking a number, so that could be fun. I hope I can maybe break that story. That's the only thing I'll ask a favor from you here while you're at Edmonton. What about, you got 2 kids now? Are they both in sports, or are they still? Well, no, they'd be old enough to be doing something, right?
Oh yeah, Owen's 4 and Caden's 2, and let me tell you, they're going to take over Edmonton by storm. They love hockey, and they're a handful, but it's awesome. It allows me to kind of clear my head and, like you said, probably escape that scrutiny once in a while, and just let them be boys. So they're just as thrilled as I am. We've been trying to track down some Oilers swag out here in BC as much as we can today, because they're loud and proud Oilers fans, and I can't wait to get into the rink and to see everyone.
Well, congratulations on the contract. Great to have you back in town. I mean, I say this all the time. Edmontonians love when people who aren't from Edmonton love Edmonton, and I put you in that category. So it's great that you're back. Look forward to seeing what your new number will be. I will tell you this though: the construction still sucks here in the summer, so you give yourself plenty of time to drive around when you come house shopping.
Reid, I just spent the last couple of years in New York City, so I think we'll be all right.
Well, yeah, we'll have to tell those stories next time you're on the show as well. So that's a good point. Yeah. Hey, I know you're doing other interviews today. Thanks for making time for this show. Congratulations on the new deal. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Reid. Yeah, we'll talk soon. Take care.
Curtis Lazar checking in, new member of the Edmonton Oilers. Pretty honest about some of the injury stuff he went through last year, and something that was, what did he say, in his knee that didn't sit very well, and he had to get taken care of. So he's feeling like he's moving a lot better. A great Edmonton Oil King. I mean, I think this modern era of the Oil Kings, he would be one of the greatest players to have worn that Oil Kings jersey. And a player that did you interact with him when you were a younger guy, Coop?
Yeah, he was honestly one of my favorite players of the game throughout the NHL or wherever when I was growing up. I got to meet him when I was young, maybe 8 or 9 years old, when he was, well, I guess I would have been, 10 or 11 maybe, when he was a part of the Oil Kings and winning Memorial Cups and stuff like that. But I got to meet him. I have his signature, and just meeting a player like that, somebody who was so kind and stuff like that, it really stuck with me. So hearing that he was coming back to Edmonton, signing with the Oilers, actually, I had a smile when I heard that news. So
C-Run in the Nasty Chat on YouTube says if he wins face-offs, it's a great signing. You don't have to send Draisaitl out every defensive zone draw. I mean, Curtis mentioned there's no right shot center on the team. Noah Philp probably have something to say with that. We had Noah on the show a couple of days ago. Mex Bezozu says Lazar should pick number 98 so that Oilers media go crazy again. No, hold on, Mex. That was mostly Jim Matheson. Yeah, that was kind of odd, though, when Puljujarvi wore number 98. Kevin says, I've always been a fan of Curtis Lazar. Glad he's an Oiler. But look, I think we saw that. And if you listen to when I did Inside Sports, Curtis was usually on once or twice a year, usually in the summer. Like, he knows who he is, right? And even what Mangiapane said about him still having to play kind of an annoying game, like they know who he are. Curtis Lazar isn't thinking, I got to come in and I'm going to, I was McDavid's roommate and at the World Juniors, I'm going to get to play with him. He knows who he is, right? He's going to compete for a role in the bottom six. He's going to work. He's going to hopefully be hard to play against. Hopefully he's feeling healthy and can move around the ice. So hopefully, that turns out to be another good signing for Edmonton, who can help the depth on the team. All right, here's what we're going to do. We got to call a quick timeout. We still have plenty to get to in the final half hour plus of the show. We're going to change gears just a little bit because this is a team I like talking about. The Alberta Golden Bears basketball team has a new head coach, Geoff Pippus, on his journey to that job. Next.
Curtis Lazar is now an Oilers, signing in Edmonton at league minimum on a one-year deal. The former Oil King had 5 points in 48 games in New Jersey last season. Around the league, Gustav Nyquist signs in Winnipeg for 1 year for over $3 million for next season. Flames also inking Morgan Frost to a 2-year contract at nearly $4.5 million this season. Pius Suter joining the Blues for 4 years at just over $4 million this season as well, while the Islanders land 24-year-old KHLer Maxim Shabanov on a 1-year entry-level contract. Shabanov having 67 points in 64 games in the KHL last season. Elsewhere, Cooper Flagg has signed his 4-year rookie deal with the Mavericks worth a total of nearly $63 million. Out east sits the Jays and Yankees runless in the bottom of the first. Andres Jimenez at bat for the Jays, 0 outs for Toronto. 6 other games are live, including the Phillies up 2-1 over the Padres in the 5th, while the Twins and Marlins are locked at 1 apiece in the 3rd. While at home, the Riverhawks host the Lefties. EST's audio streams have full coverage of the action with first pitch at 7:05. This sports update is brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists, and you're stuck with a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game. Call them at 780-460-9977 or visit their website at advantagesportmed.ca to book an appointment. Today we talk some Golden Bears basketball on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
The Oil Stream.
Is Mangiapane legit Arvidsson just $400,000 less? Like, that's a wash, really. And all the other signings are not needle movers. What do you think about that comment from Hersey?
The end part where this is going, I am on board and understand that feeling. And I think we've seen a lot of it the last couple days. I get it. I understand where people are coming from with that.
The Oil Stream, presented by Boston Pizza. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons at noon. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Summer in Edmonton means 3 things: warm weather, long nights, and plenty of sports. From the lake to the links, you can boost your summer fun with hundreds of casino games, live betting on your favorite sports teams, and access to popular lotteries. All in one app, anywhere in the province. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code YAG50 to claim a $50 free bet. That's promo code YAG50 for a $50 free bet on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Avocado and feta dip, passion fruit cheesecake, and cocktails that taste like summer in a glass. Try the new feature menu at The Banquet. Refreshing, craveable, and made for sunny days. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
River Creek Resort and Casino on K97 proudly present Steve Earle and Reckless Kelly. Featuring small band and acoustic performances, Steve Earle and Reckless Kelly in the venue July 25th. Tickets at rivercreekresort.com.
River Creek Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it. Kayaks, bikes, camping gear? Make space for summer fun with Sentinel Storage. Spend more time on adventures with your outdoor gear and less time looking for them. Sentinel Storage. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca.
Oh my goodness, hope you're having a great afternoon. Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne. Jay will return next week. Actually, he's going to return Sunday for the Elks broadcast. Edmonton Sports Talk presented by Play Alberta. Play Alberta, your home for online gaming excitement, featuring casino games, live dealer action, lottery, instance, and sports betting. Now with the new Play Alberta app, you can take the fun with you anywhere. Download the app or sign up today at playalberta.ca. Man, oh man, we've been clipping along today. A lot of Oilers discussion. We've had some clips from Andrew Mangiapane. We've had some clips from GM Stan Bowman. A lot of clips, actually. Pretty thorough coverage from the Zoom availabilities this morning. We just had new Edmonton Oiler Curtis Lazar on the show live. We just had, a little over an hour ago, we had goaltender Matt Tomkins on the show live. He is signed to a two-way contract with the Edmonton Oilers, perhaps the goaltender in Bakersfield. We'll see what happens with him. He told his story. Pretty incredible stuff. And we got another guy, well, I guess sort of like Curtis Lazar, returning to Edmonton. Different sort of role, but I want to get to know this gentleman a little bit because I used to do play-by-play for his team. Now, I stopped doing the play-by-play before he played. He's now the coach of the Alberta Golden Bears basketball team. Geoff Pippus is checking in. Jeff, I'm Reid. How are you doing?
Hey, Reid. Thanks for having me. Honored to be here.
Yeah, we're on video as well, so we're on YouTube. If you're like, wow, this guy's wearing a pink Def Leppard shirt. Well, they're my favorite band. I'm going to see them next Friday, and this is an incredibly comfortable shirt for the hot weather. Sometimes you might see me dressed more formally. But anyway.
It looks sharp. It looks sharp.
Congratulations on the job. How does it feel? How does it feel to hear that, head coach of the Alberta Golden Bears basketball team?
It's a little surreal, to be honest with you. It's a pretty special opportunity to come back and lead a program that I was a part of, and I had my best years as a player. And taking over for Barnaby, who I played for and who's been a real mentor for me, is a pretty cool opportunity. Yeah, we're really excited to get out there. Kind of a dream job, to be honest. There's not a lot of opportunities to coach in this country basketball at a full-time level. So not only that, but to take over one of the best programs in the country, inarguably is pretty special. And I'm really looking forward to the challenge and the opportunity.
Okay, so was it less than 10 years ago you were a Bear?
Yeah, so I did my first 3 years at UBC. So I was at UBC 2010 to 2013, and then took a couple years, and then I was in Alberta 16 to 18. So pretty quick turnaround. But I finished when I was an old man, so I'm hoping that that sort of veteran presence translates a little bit.
Now, how old are you? I'm guessing the first digit of your age is still a 3.
Yeah, I'm 33.
Okay. So hopefully you're here for a long time. Like you have a Don Horwood like run as the Alberta Golden Bears head coach. That would be pretty cool. So I got to ask you this question, and this is a standard question I ask all post-secondary coaches. My theory is you can win a lot of games in the summer with recruiting. Your reach for that, and then also maybe the challenge of coming in kind of part way through the summer in doing some recruiting? Like, can you still do any for the upcoming year?
So it's a great question. And fortunately, Barnaby has left the cupboard full. The Bears only graduated Max Russell last year, so only one rotation player moving on. And old wins in post-secondary sport. Like I look at, I'm coming from Victoria, so we watched a lot of the Vikes last year who won the national championship. And they had 2 guys in their rotation who were third year and below. And last year, U of A had 1 player above third year who played any significant minutes and really on the whole roster. So the fortunate part for me, and it's been a pretty quick turnaround here, I only found out about this kind of late last week, but there's not a lot of urgency to bring in a whole bunch of new pieces. There's a great young core of guys who can come in and contribute. So we got 4 guys who are heading into their 4th year, and Isaac, Fahad, Logan, Ethan, who I think as they get older, another year older, can turn into really great rotation players. And guys going into your 4th and 5th year, that's where you win. And then the rest of the rotation is all 1st and 2nd year guys. So I think sort of just the natural progression to getting a year older and developing skill-wise, developing physically. There's a huge difference between a 24-year-old veteran and an 18-year-old kid straight out of high school. So as those guys kind of make that progression, I expect that we'll be able to take a leap there. And I'm really lucky to take over a program that's had success the last really 30 years, but especially with Barnaby kind of the last 13 that he was there. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty special opportunity. It's not a rebuild by any means. We don't need to reinvent the wheel, but trust the process, trust the players. I'm a very player-driven coach. And that's just something I'm looking forward to getting out there and meeting the guys. We actually haven't even chatted with the team yet. We've got our first Zoom call tonight. So it's all fresh, but pretty exciting opportunity.
Yeah, this is all very fresh. So thanks for hopping on here relatively soon after getting the job. And Well, I'll kind of put you on the spot here, but even if we're talking more theoretical than exact at this point, but when you are recruiting a young man, do you sell playing time? Do you sell education? Do you sell the esteem of the school? I mean, Alberta's had great sports teams for a long time. I'm just wondering where you start, right? And you gotta hope probably the parents are on board too, and all that kind of stuff. Where does it begin your recruiting pitch?
The nice part about a job with this kind of prestige is that you get to be really picky. In itself, the institution is going to attract high-level people. I think it's in reality like everything. It depends, but it's going to be a combination of all the things you mentioned, right? U of A is a top 5 academic institution in the country. U of A Bears basketball have been in the top 5. If you look at the top 10 rankings over the history of Canadian university basketball, I believe they're 5th ever in top 10 rankings. Like, this is a prestigious program. The facilities are world-class. The Saville Center is beautiful. I know in your day it was the Butterdome, but it's a great place to play. The strength and conditioning facilities are awesome. There's a history of guys moving on to play professional basketball, which I think is a big attraction for a lot of young players. In my time, like, I was there for 2 years, and I have a teammate who's a doctor. I have a teammate who's a lawyer. I have teammates who are teachers. Like, these people move on to success in professional life, in addition to playing with at least 3, probably more professionals in that time. So it's a special place that attracts special people. My job is to parse through that and make sure we're getting high character driven people. And then sort of put my own stamp on things and let the guys do what they do and be these driven, successful people and kind of guide them along the way. And I expect that we're going to have similar success to what's been going on over time, just because of how great the place is. So that's kind of my.
Yeah, well said. Geoff Pippus joining us this afternoon, new head coach of the Alberta Golden Bears basketball team, replacing Barnaby Craddock. Man, I felt old when you said Barnaby was there 13 years, because I can remember when he was hired. But obviously he's moved on to another opportunity. I'll have some fun with you here on this one. So I don't remember the years now. I want to say I did 6 years of play-by-play, Pandas and Bears, maybe 08 to 13 or 14. I did almost all of, like, Horwood was the coach, and then Greg Francis came in.
Right.
But some years we did play-by-play courtside. And I was right by the Golden Bears bench. And I got to see Don Horwood in action. And in the early 90s, when I was a student, I saw Don in action from the bleachers at the main gym, is where they played. And it was everything from his outfits to his antics with the referees. My, oh my, I learned some words that hopefully my mic didn't pick up sitting next to Don. And even with Scott Edwards, the Pandas coach, you see those interactions with officials, which to me is unique in basketball, because you can actually stand right by the official. I guess football might have a little bit of that, but the ref has to run over and talk to you. Like, you're right there. There's no boards between you. You don't have to run out of the dugout. How do you handle interactions with referees? Are you going to get a few technicals? Are you a little more subtle? What do you like as a coach?
I've only ever had one. I still have some back and forth with the official who gave it to me. I'm not sure I earned it. I tend to be, if I'm going to say something, I'm going to try to be subtle about it. But in talking to referees, they say sometimes the meanest coaches are the ones that everybody else thinks carries themselves very quietly. When you're just, like you said, you got them right on their sideline, and you can kind of whisper something pretty offside in their ear and maybe get away with it as long as you're not causing a scene. I don't think that's my style. My view on it tends to be that that's the only way I can give the other team points. And that's probably hurting my team's chances of winning if I'm giving the other team points. So I try to be pretty selective, but the competitive juices get flowing and things happen at times. So.
Okay. Well, congratulations. Do you have to hire a staff, or do you inherit Barnaby's staff, or what happens with that?
I'm really lucky. So Kent Johnson has been Barnaby's lead assistant the whole time he's been there. Kent is a top tier human being. When I was a player, our house flooded. And like Kent's like, come over for dinner. We got you covered. Let's take care of all this. So Kent's sticking around. Jay Tomlinson's been around for 5 years, and he's going to stick around too. So I'm really walking into a great situation, and I'm really excited to get going. And with that said, like the alumni support's unbelievable. Jordan Baker's a great friend of mine, and he's the president of the alumni, and obviously with the Stingers. But moving back to a place with a bunch of people we know and love is going to go a long way towards getting things off the ground. It feels like coming home a little bit to me. Like it's not starting from scratch at all, which is a nice thing. And hopefully we can see the benefits of that with the team coming up here.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. You're a former player, and again, a relatively recent former player. And I don't know if you heard any of my interview with Curtis Lazar.
Yeah.
Like Edmontonians love it when somebody has experience with Edmonton, because it's like the rest of the country craps on Edmonton all the time. It's too cold. People hate it. The population is 40. They don't really understand it. So you understand all the great things about it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good.
Okay, thanks for doing this. Of course, we'll be talking during the season. Congratulations on the new job.
Sounds great. Thanks, Reid.
Geoff Pippus checking in, new head coach of the Alberta Golden Bears basketball team. Love talking U of A on the show. Barnaby did a great job. He's moved on to Simon Fraser. So Geoff, again, within the last 10 years, he was a player with the Golden Bears, and he understands what it's like to join the U of A and the vibe there and the strengths of the school and the pride of the athletic department. So good to have him on the show. And of course, once we get into the school season, we'll talk a lot of U of A athletics as we did this past season here on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne. It is 5:35. You can text us 780-218-9999. The afternoon inbox presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring Italia Restaurant, home of the $6.99 brunch special from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. We had an off-topic topic, Coob, for William Huff. The best way to stay cool at night if you're trying to sleep in a home without air conditioning. So we've had some interesting ones. Jasmine, our own Jasmine, who's on the Hangout tomorrow, frozen pajamas or putting your pajamas in the freezer for a little bit of time. Sleeping with a block of ice near your bed and having the fan blow over the block of ice.
I think that one was the most interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to have it probably in something to collect the water as it melted.
I just imagine it on a big plate, like a big
in a basin.
Huge block
in a basin.
Ice. Right.
Yeah. We had a couple people say like wet your arms and head with cold water, right? And then we had some cold shower people. Though I always thought if you take a hot shower and then you get out of it, you're going to feel cooler. Now, maybe that doesn't last, but that was another suggestion. So those were kind of some of the top ones. And then somebody said use a fan, but have the fan blowing not on you towards an open window to actually blow the hot air out.
Yeah, blow the hot air out.
I've heard of that too.
Close your windows during the day, open them during the night.
Yeah, I keep everything closed, drapes and
Just
stuff
all
during
sealed?
the day. Yeah, seal it up.
See, I always have the windows open, but that's a fault. Like during the day, it gets, I guess, stickier on the inside. There's less circulation and stuff. Always have the fans running, but it'll bring up the electricity bill, as my dad says. So
right.
Yeah.
Well, you turn those lights off when you leave the room, kid.
Yeah. What is it? 12 cents a day or something?
Yeah, something like that. It's a lot
of money.
It's
adds
crazy.
Up. Might even get a Slurpee by the end of the week.
780-218-9999 is how you text the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. A lot of coverage today of your Edmonton Oilers and some fun there with the new head coach of the Alberta Golden Bears as well. On Andrew Mangiapane, the key signing for your Edmonton Oilers today.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to participate in the Battle of Alberta again, obviously. I think this was just a great fit for me, and obviously Edmonton has a great team, right? So I just want to come in here and play my game and just kind of help the team whatever way possible to win, and hopefully get them over the finish line this year. I'm excited to be here, excited to be an Oiler, and excited to get things going already.
All right, a little bit there from Mangiapane. We got one more timeout. We got one more update from the Coop. We got words of the day coming up. We got fired up for Gemco.
Former Oil King Curtis Lazar is signed with the Oilers at league minimum on a one-year deal. The 30-year-old played 48 games for the Devils last season, recording 2 goals and 5 points. Other signings around the league: Pia Suter heading to St. Louis on a 2-year deal worth over $4 million per season. The Flames extending Morgan Frost 2 years at $4 million per. And Gustav Nyquist going to Winnipeg for over $3 million on a one-year contract. In NBA news, the Mavericks have signed first overall pick Cooper Flagg to his 4-year rookie contract with a total of nearly $63 million total. MLB action has the Jays exploding in the bottom of the first inning to go up 7-0 over the Yankees. That one's in the top of the first. Top of the second, Jose Barrios on the hill for Toronto with a fresh set of outs for New York. 6 other games are live, including the Angels up 2-0 on the Braves in the bottom of the first inning. For the Riverhawks, they play the lefties. Action starts at 7:05. Catch the full game on any of EST's audio streams. You can check out the full schedule at edmontonsportstalk.com. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The final segment of the Reid Wilkins Show brings us back after a brief break.
EST Afternoons.
DVD, are the Oilers a better team today than the one that finished a couple weeks ago?
I don't think so. I think they're going to have to prove stuff. I mean, Mangiapane is going to prove that he can play. These new guys are going to have to prove they can play. I think there's just too many question marks going into the roster this year to say that this team is better. And you're hoping to fill some holes with guys that, you could be the best player in Europe. You're playing in Europe for a reason.
EST Afternoons, weekday afternoons 1 to 3, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you can afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Okay, 5:42. Reid Wilkins with you. Jason Milne off this week. Lots of Oilers news today. Lots of Oilers content on this show. We had Curtis Lazar on live. We had Matt Tomkins on live. We went over some of the key comments from GM Stan Bowman and new Oiler Andrew Mangiapane. Another one here from Stan Bowman. He was asked what the goaltender market has been like.
It's been interesting to see. There's certainly been some movement around. The goaltending is always, it's just a very unique situation because there's only 2 per team. So, it's a bit of shuffling of chairs. Haven't really been much movement on the number 1s around the league. A lot of movement filling in on the number 2s. So, we had some conversations, but nothing really made any sense. So I think we are where we are now makes the most sense for us and continue to have conversations. But as far as, we're doing our job and talking to teams and agents, but nothing there really made any sense for us to move forward on.
All right. And Bowman also commenting on, losing some players, Brown and Perry, to free agency and just general roster change.
Yeah, we did lose a couple players that were, big contributors last year, and we certainly thank them for their time with us, and we wish them well. I think a lot of it was a function of, the salary cap having to have some flexibility. I think we weren't going to be able to meet their demands for fitting it into our puzzle. So we do have a few new faces coming in, but I think that that's not a bad thing. I think I've always said it's nice to have some new faces to come into your group. They bring a bit of a different energy. Like, they weren't here last year when we made the push and the year before. So I think they're hungry to get that far in the playoffs and, to be able to play in the Stanley Cup final. So I think having some, new voices as well, I think it's good. But, the players that are gone we enjoyed having them here, but I do think we're turning the page forward and looking at, some different combinations that we can have now with some new players. I do think that's a positive, and it's something we're trying to build on. It is a little bit of newness to our group, and I think that'll help get us going next year.
All right, and Mangiapane asked, you might have an opportunity here to play with Connor and Leon.
I could definitely see that. I think I'm for sure capable. I think last year was a little bit of a down year for me, but I think I could get right back to where I've been and what I can do, right? I think a lot of you guys have seen it in the fans and everyone that saw me playing in Calgary and know what I'm capable of. So I'm just excited to, hopefully be given an opportunity. Obviously, there's a lot of good players on this team. So I think me just looking at the roster, I could hopefully play with anyone and going up and down. And I think could be good fits wherever coach decides to put me.
All right. A bit of a summary there from some of the things we heard earlier today. Coming to you from the Banquet Studio, avocado and feta dip, passion fruit cheesecake, and cocktails that taste like summer in a glass. Try the new feature menu at The Banquet. Refreshing, craveable, and made for sunny days. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard. Coop, did you have a limerick or two, or do you have coming in?
Yes, I do have a limerick coming in from Library Pat. This new Oiler pipsqueak, Andrew. We hope he'll score more than a few. He once was a flame. That's a blot on his name, but he's got potential. It's true.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Is that a first-time limerick writer?
From Library Pat? I'm not sure.
I think Library Pat might have done a few before.
Definitely a few times. And
pretty good. I'm glad people like the limericks.
Oh, they're great. I love reading them. Once I get a hang of them,
you're doing fine. So, but on the text line, they don't come in formatted as easily to read either.
Yeah, there's no
spacing. Like hitting return doesn't space it the same way.
Commas and periods and stuff like that either. But Uncle Jesse coming in relation to the off-topic topic. Just get a job at EST and complain every day about not having an AC until Jay buys you one. Ask YTT.
Did he buy him an air conditioning for his house?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
When he was at and
previous
it was a
place
surprise too. Yeah, the previous place that he was at, and YTT was just like, man, it's so hot in here. It's so hot. So glue guy, being a glue guy, as
he is a glue
right?
guy. He helped them move. Yeah, it was pretty magical. We have our AC is working today. We've had stretches where it was not that hot outside, but it got very hot in here. Thankfully, I think we have it repaired, and we're moving to a new place soon. So
I wonder how the AC is there.
I think it's good. I was there today. It seemed comfortable.
It's cool.
Have you been there?
I've not. You and Belsey were.
You're always on air or something. You're always busy.
Yeah, Maddie's like, I'll take these fellas. Yeah. And I'm like, well, thanks. Yeah.
We haven't even told you where it is yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never find it. Yeah.
It's like
First day that we're there.
It's like we're going to drop you off like Chief Wiggum. You're free now, boy. Oh. You get that? Did you see that episode?
I think so.
I'm glad you've seen a lot of 90s Simpsons episodes, even though it was on before you were born.
Oh, I love Simpsons. The Simpsons movie, though, sticks out to me. That's a classic.
It's good. I wouldn't say it's great. I'd say it's good.
Yeah.
I think seasons probably 2 through 7 or 2 through 8 are the real sweet spot. Just week after week of magic.
Absolute
magic, baby. All right, fired up for Gemco. Gemco Fireplaces, proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years. The authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces. Whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. Well, I'm getting fired up to see Def Leppard next Friday, quite frankly. It's going to be the 14th time I've seen them live. I'm not taking the day off, so I'm not going for the full day of I think Joan Jett is the band before Def Leppard, so I'll probably get there in time for that. And I'll see Leppard. Look, the set list doesn't vary much from concert to concert. They are doing a song called Die Hard the Hunter off Pyromania's 1983 that I have seen them perform live before, but I think only once. This may be my fired up until the concert, quite frankly, is just more Leppard and Leppard.
Well, you're getting so close to it, and as the days...
Yeah, it's around the corner now. I wasn't thinking about it a lot before. You're covering hockey and finals and all that kind of stuff, and you're busy. But I'm fired up for Def Leppard. I have to say, I didn't read too much, but this is like anti-fired up, because I was sort of fired up for this. Apparently, there are some mixed or downright negative reviews for the Superman movie.
Oh, well, I know
but I saw some stuff flashing on social media, and I was like, "Oh, I don't want to look yet." But I'm not. I don't read DC. I'm not as big into Superman and Batman. But Superman's obviously an iconic character, and directed by James Gunn, who did Guardians of the Galaxy, and like is a really good, clever comic book director, I think. And I thought of something, they just crammed too much. And that from some of the trailers, I was like, man, oh man, are they really going down all these different avenues? So now, if the reviews aren't that good, I'm like, am I going to go see it in the theater? I might not bother. I don't know.
Well, I'm not even a Superman fan. Like, I'm not a big superhero guy. I've maybe tried to watch Dark Knight. Tried to. I didn't even watch the full thing, or Spider-Man or whatever. Guardians of the Galaxy. But seeing the Superman trailer... I went to another movie in the theater, and it was playing, and I saw it a couple times. I'm like, I was even excited for it. Not that I was going to go out and watch it, but like they made it look really good. So it's a bit disappointing to hear that the reviews aren't very good. But
we'll
do
see.
have a good review.
Maybe just some. I don't know. We'll see.
I do have a good review for the Superman Dairy Queen Blizzard that they released. It's cookie dough and it's blue.
Blue cookie dough. Okay,
yeah, it's really good actually. Yeah.
I went to Dairy Queen and I just got the chocolate chip cookie dough mini Blizzard last night. That's enough for me.
Yeah, that's all you need sometimes. Like some of those larger sizes, it's too much. You can almost save them for 2 servings.
Yeah, I can't do that much. All right. If you're in the Nasty Chat on YouTube, give us a thumb up if you haven't done so already. If you're just coming in on the YouTube stream, we got to a pretty decent total today, over 130. So we will do a double word of the day.
The word of the day with Reid and Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
What do they got to say?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you.
Let's find out.
English, do you speak it? Then you know what I'm saying.
So I made these words, I guess.
I was going to say, you made these words up. That's what those that's what those ones on Monday felt like.
Bambohazel. How do you spell it? No.
That one wouldn't be hard to spell. The definition, I don't know.
Right, yeah, I don't know what it means. Maybe befuzzle would be a close relative to that. But I made these words a little bit easier, I guess you would say, more colloquial.
Okay.
Wow, yeah. So you could probably actually use these in a sentence from time to time, and I can actually say these words. So the first one, crestfallen. Crestfallen is your first word of the day.
That's pretty easy to spell.
Yes.
Crestfallen.
That is correct.
Well, crestfallen means, I guess, saddened because something didn't live up to the expectation, or there's a degree of disappointment involved. I guess you could say, many fans were crestfallen to hear that Ricky Ray had been traded.
Right on. Yeah, the exact definition, sad or disappointed.
Oh, so I almost made it too complicated.
Yeah, but I'll give it to you.
I am overly complicated. Well, who do you think Avril Lavigne wrote the song about? I mean, come on.
She was thinking about you, Reid. Of course she was.
She really was.
Hold on. I just need to hear this word again.
Well, he doesn't know how to say it, everybody.
I'm overthinking it.
It's probably like a Spanish word or something.
Clandestine.
Oh, that's also easy.
Yeah.
Although these are too easy. Clandestine. CLANDESTINE. And this
right
would
on.
be this would be undercover or secretive, such as Coob and Reid went on a clandestine operation to egg Matthew Iwanik's car.
Yeah, baby.
That's a bad sentence. I'm evil for saying that. We would never do that to poor Matthew.
I'd maybe leave him some pickled eggs or something.
Yeah, those might be the two easiest ones ever.
Well, I didn't know clandestine.
Well, you didn't.
So,
well,
I gotta think of the mind of
your book learning has improved. You've done some book learning today.
My IQ has gone up at least 1%.
Well, it may be too late for that, Coop.
Hey, my brain is still developing.
I don't know if your IQ can change, but your
Yeah.
level of knowledge can change and wisdom can change. I think, isn't your IQ kind of steady throughout your life? I don't know.
That's a question for Albert Einstein.
Question for somebody with a higher IQ.
Yeah.
Perhaps a Mensa candidate.
Mensa. Sounds like a good sandwich or something.
All right. How's it looking outside? We haven't had any texts or notifications about storms in the area.
No, it doesn't look as bright as it was a bit earlier, but, I'm kind of huddled up in the producer corner.
All right. So your task for tomorrow is to have the words of the day done before 3:00. So you don't have to do them during the show. Okay?
I'll have them done at 2:59.
Yeah, well, that's acceptable. Well, just, I don't want you to detract from what you're doing. But I 4 out of 4 today, but I should know those at the point I'm at in my life. I hope. Great show today.
Right.
Matt Tomkins, Curtis Lazar were on live. Tons of Oilers coverage. We talked some U of A Golden Bears basketball with their new head coach. Tomorrow is our athlete of the week for Pasta Pantry, so that'll be pretty good. Jay Onright is scheduled to join us tomorrow. He's a busy guy, but I think we're going to wrangle Jay tomorrow, which will be pretty fun, and who knows what other avenues we shall explore. On behalf of Zachary Kubish, I'm Reid. Thanks for checking out the show. Have a great night.